What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? And welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live here on Friday, midday, I would say, just after the 3 o'clock hour. How's everybody doing today? We made it to almost the weekend, so hopefully, if you are working, you're finishing up your day coming up within the next hour or so. And we're going into the weekend. What's going on, everybody? We're going to have a conversation today. I'm going to chat it up with you guys, answer some questions, and just have some fun, man. We're here on Friday. Let's enjoy ourselves. Shout out to Chris Slasnick for being the first one in the building. Said, what's up, TD? What's up with you, man? Carlos says 7 ain't enough for TD, man. 1 is enough. 1 is enough for TD, man. Andres, what's going on? TW Bluff, what's up, man? Casey, I see you. Shout out to the Mod Squad. Powerhouse TJ in the house. Ooh, there go Dwayne. How Dwayne ain't got a wrench? That's crazy. Let me make sure. All right, we good, man. Rip Tupac in the house. What up, homie? Man, what's going on, man? Michael Simmons, Casey Dames already said. I honestly have us going 12-4, man. Don't start, man. You know, you're gonna have people jumping on me. You're gonna have people jumping on me early, man. 12-4. Hey, I'm with it. Shout out to Tannehill. All right, Joe Miller. He with the Titans now, man. He gonna go do his thing. We're gonna leave Tannehill alone. We wish him the very best, man. Just wish we could have did right by him, but we didn't. Sharif, I see you, homie. What's going on with you, man? What's good, TD? Everybody showing love, man. What to TD? Love you, bro. Steve, what's up, homie? Man, you ain't hit me up yet, man. Just hit us up on the group chat, man. We in there. I hope the Dolphins draft Tua, man. Rip, man, where you been under a rock, bro? Come on, get up from out under that rock, man. We've been done had the draft, man. Come on, Rip. Oh wait, TD, what's up? I hope my Phins family is all well. God bless. Yes, man. Hey, before we keep going, guys, y'all go ahead and hit that like button, guys. We got over 60 people in the room. We've been having some issues with the notifications, but that's all right. We're still going. Logan Ryan wants $10 million a year. Well, he's asking for $10 million a year. Nobody's bitten yet, so I'm hoping that the price comes down because that'll be a good thing for the Miami Dolphins. So that's my take on it. All right, TD, add me to the group chat. I'll mail my number. Just email me, bro. I got you, TD. I was the second like. That's what's up, LGRW. Yes, man. If that is his price, I hope the Jets sign him at. Yeah, but the Jets ain't offer nothing at that price. So again, it could be his price, but at the end of the day, his price is going to ultimately be whatever somebody's willing to pay. And right now, it doesn't look like it's $10 million. I mean, somebody might get desperate if he holds out and give it to him, but the market dries up more and more and more the longer you wait. The longer you wait. So if I was him, I wouldn't play those games. Go ahead, come down to Miami for about 7 or 8. You know, we'd be good. Powerhouse TJ said, TD, I honestly think that the Dolphins can be in competition to win the Super Bowl this year. What do you think? Man, listen, Powerhouse, I agree with you, man. A lot of things have to go right, but I agree with you. And those who criticize us for feeling that way, they just automatically assume all those things that need to go right won't go right. So we're more optimistic that those things can go right, and we're hoping that they do. And if they do, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, this is a passing league now. We're building our defense to be able to stop the pass. And we have enough we have weapons to get to the quarterback at least at a much better clip than we did last year. A much better clip. So again, man, it's hard to lose games if the other team can't score. You know, so we've loaded up on defense, trying to have a really, really, really solid top 10 defense. And if we can get our offense to play top 15, I'm telling y'all now, a 14th ranked offense with the top 5 defense is Super Bowl worthy. Let me get that. Let me say that again. A top 15 offense and a top 5 defense is Super Bowl worthy. Above average offense. I mean, look, that's exactly, if you ask me, what the 49ers kind of were. I mean, with the quarterback situation and stuff, they weren't like just blowing people out of the gym. You know, they had their moments, but man, listen, I think on this roster, we have about 92% of what we need. I mean, you bring in another pass rusher like a Clowney, not saying that we will, but that'll put you all the way to like 97. You bring in a guard like Larry. That man, listen, it's like 1 or 2, 3 at max pieces away from feeling like, no, this is real. Like right now, we're like, I mean, we can, but we're like 2 or 3 pieces away from saying, no, this is real. This is real. And that's how I feel about it, man. And I hope that Greer and Flores, they still, you know, trying to find those bargains, trying to get these free agent guys that are still there and trying to convince them to come to Miami at the right price. I mean, we know that they're working right now. We know that they're working right now, man. They got to be working. But again, we got principles, y'all. So we're not just going to go after somebody and give them all this extra money just to do it. No, that ain't how we set up. We got principles and we're going to stick to those and we're going to make the right decisions. Now, don't remember the guys that we're continuously talking about, 28 and 29 years old. That doesn't fit the prototype of what we're doing and what we're building right now. Right now, we got a roster full of 25, 26, and 27-year-olds from free agency that have been in this league, and a whole bunch of young players still on a rookie deal or in their first 4. We don't have the guys that are 28, 29, and 30 outside of less than a handful of guys. And nothing's wrong with bringing in about 2 or 3 more to be that veteran presence in the locker room as well, long as they have the right attitude. That's why the Larry situation may not be feasible, because I'm not saying he has a bad attitude, but again, there's some things that the Saints didn't like, and that's why it was easy for them to cut him. So I could see us passing on Larry, even though he would be a great addition for this team. But Logan Ryan, the team player, plays cornerback, can be at the safety position. And you know what? I was doing some research late last night, like 2 a.m. on Logan Ryan. And he played a lot of slot corner too. I didn't even know that. I was watching a lot of his film from last year. He played a lot of slot corner, and they send him on blitzes out of the slot corner. And that's probably why we were talking to him, because Flores loves the versatility. He can go outside. He can go inside. He can be at the safety position, the delayed blitzes, and he gets there, takes the right angle. That's the key with Logan Ryan. He takes the right angles. He's an angle guy. He takes the right angles. He knows how to play bump and run. He also knows how to play cushion as well with different exotic schemes. That's why I would love for him to be in Miami, but they say he's asking for $10 million right now. Nobody's budged. Like I said, let that number come down a little. Miami should be pouncing on it. If we can get it between 7 and 8, I would love for us to pick him up between 7 and 8. But I'm not like, oh, $10 million. All right, well, you just bid us out of contention, man. We wanted you, but you bid us out. But I still hold out hope. And here's why. Because Brian Flores played for Flores, knows what he wants to accomplish, Super Bowl champ.
Hello, everyone. Sorry we're a little late today. As you know, the president had 2 events this morning.
Oh, I had something just pop up on my screen. Oh. So that's where I am, man. More so 7, 6.5. Well, okay. Let's see what y'all say. What's up, brother? Rhino, how you doing today? How you feeling today? I'm blessed. What's up, Mr. Miami 305? I would like a lineman. Me too, but again, Larry, I mean, you got other linemen out there, but ones that you really want to covet and go after, Larry Warford is one of them. The best one available, actually, at the guard position. It don't get any better than that. Guy made 3 Pro Bowls consecutively the last 3 years and was cut by the Saints. A lot of it had to do with just not an environment fit. Showed up to camp. I don't know if it was out of shape or something like that, but still made the Pro Bowl anyway, showing up to camp out of shape. But it's a lot behind that, so I don't know what they would decide in that situation. Ryan did get the pick 6 on Brady. Yeah, in the playoffs to seal the game, to end the game-winning pick 6. And he's a ball hawk too. Let me tell you the similarities him and Xavier Howard has. Logan Ryan knows how to recover just like Xavier Howard. I've seen Xavier Howard get interceptions where he was beat by 6 feet. The ball went up in the air and he closed that gap and went up and grabbed it. That's what Logan Ryan does as well. I saw a play where Logan Ryan was beat by 12 feet, like literally. Ball was a little underthrown, but he closed that gap too, very fast. So they have a lot of similarities in their game. They're both opportunists, in my opinion. But the thing that, and people disagree with me, of course they do, about Xavier Howard versus Logan Ryan. The thing that I like about Logan Ryan over Xavier Howard is the fact that they use him in more situations. They use him on corner blitzes. And listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't never remember us using Xavier Howard on a corner blitz. Ever. And I'm sure we have. I'm guessing. But I don't recall ever using him on a corner blitz. Logan Ryan comes on a corner blitz 3-4 times a game. And he also plays the slot corner very well. They move him all over the field. He does follow typically the best receiver, and that's why he led the league in targets. I think he was targeted 114 times, more than any cornerback in the whole NFL last year. He was targeted 114 times because he usually plays the best corner on every team, and they're going to try to get the ball to their best corner. And Logan Ryan, somebody said X has a sack 2017. 1 sack in 2017. Logan Ryan had 5 last year. Logan Ryan had 5 sacks last year. But again, that ain't a knock on X. It's just that Logan Ryan can be used in that fashion. They send him on delayed blitzes all the time in Tennessee, coming from the slot corner position. Plus, he plays the slot corner position. And he plays the outside corner, the boundary. And on a few occasions, he's back at the safety. On a few occasions. So it's just the versatility that I love about him. Not only that, since he is a thumper and he loves to be physical and he loves making tackles, which he led the league in tackles at the cornerback position last year. Number 1 in the NFL in tackles. And so he led the league in tackles, and he loves to be physical. Tackles for losses, has a great rating on that. The thing that he doesn't have a great rating on, the same as Xavier Howard. They both don't have a great rating on completions allowed. They both gave up almost over 60% completions. But again, Logan Ryan is playing the best corner in every game. Best receiver in every game. And I ain't gonna get on Xavier Howard. Y'all already know. So I don't know. X allowed a 59% completion rate. Logan Ryan is 66. 59-66. X allowed a 60, by the way. It was 8 for 24. 24 targets to Xavier Howard. 114 targets to Logan Ryan. A larger sample size. Much larger sample size, by the way. All right. But the reason why Logan Ryan also has a higher PFF rating over Xavier Howard by 10 points, 12, I think, but I'm saying 10. He has a higher PFF rating with the worst completions allowed is because he gets sacks, he gets interceptions, he gets tackles for loss, and he leads the league in tackles, period. The nitty-gritty stuff that you also need to do well as a corner versus just getting interceptions that nobody talk about. So with the worst completion allowed, The thing about Logan Ryan is, with all those completions allowed, he make you pay for it even more, though, with the tackles, the interceptions, and the sacks. See, when you add the interceptions and the tackles in the sacks alone, 5 sacks for a corner, y'all. Do y'all understand what that means? 5 sacks for a corner. And our leading sacker on the D line last year was Taco with 5. 5 sacks for a cornerback last year. With the interceptions, 4 or 5 interceptions. I got to go look at it. It was 4 or 5. No less, though. No less. Corner blitzes. Exactly. Well, some of them he's in the box. Go look at the highlights. Some of them he's literally in the box. He's actually in the box. It's crazy, man. Matter of fact, we might even do something fun, man. I might even have some fun and pull up the actual footage. Let's see. Are you comfortable with getting Ryan a 3-year deal? I'm comfortable giving anyone a 3-year deal as long as it's about 40% guaranteed. No, not 40, but about 38 to 40% guaranteed. That way, it's really only a 1-year deal, and you give them a few bucks just in case you want to cut them. I'm good with giving them a 3-year deal. I'm good with that. It just the guaranteed money is what matters. I don't care about how many years. The guaranteed money tells you how many years the deal is. So for these people getting $100 million contract with $40 million guaranteed on a 5-year, that's only a 2-year contract to me, because after 2 years they lose no money by cutting you. So I'm all good with that. And I know why the Dolphins are pursuing Logan Ryan. Don't know if it's going to get done, but everybody should know why they're going after him. Because we got a cornerback who can't stay healthy. We got a cornerback who can't stay healthy. What good is those lockdown corners, Byron Jones and X, if one of them off the field? What good is that? What good would that be? Oh, we got X and Byron Jones. Byron Jones goes down. Oh, all we got is X now. Vice versa. That's why they pursuing him. And he brings the versatility, not just in the boundary, but the slot and at safety in some cases. And let me ask y'all this. Do you think if they transition Logan Ryan to safety, he would be better than one of these guys, Bobby McCain or Eric Rowe? Y'all let me know in the comment section. Is it fair to say that he would at least be better than one of those guys? Would he be better than one of those guys? And that's my point. You got a guy that can go back there, and then if a corner gets hurt, he can replace them, and then they can put one of those other guys back there. I mean, he can be the Swiss Army knife. I mean, similar to Minka, to be quite honest with you. Very similar to Minka. Very similar, man. And some people, you can't forget as well, the man was a Pro Bowl alternate last year. That's what we're not bringing up as well. It was a Pro Bowl alternate. He had his best season as a pro, coming right off of it. Maybe we can have some fun real quick, man. This is last year. This is last year. This is last year. This is what you're talking about. Physical guy. You ain't jumping over me. Tom Brady, give me that. And this wasn't the pick six in the playoffs. Another one. Look at that. That's the one I was telling y'all about. It was like a 12-foot separation. That was the one I was telling y'all about. I didn't even see this highlight package. Watch this. Pause. You see this? Watch the ground that he covers. That actually ain't even the play I was telling y'all about. Hopefully it come up. This is what you get, man. This kid, he's really good. He's really good as a corner. He has the size and the speed to be able to rush the quarterback. Look at this, under the route. This was the playoffs. And people saying, "No, I'm straight. I wouldn't want him." I get it for $10 million, but to say you wouldn't want him in general, look at this play. This is in the playoffs on the biggest stage, and watch where this kid comes from. Watch where he comes from. I love this. Stop. This is Logan, right back here. He way back here, almost like the safety position. Listen, he's at the safety position. This is a Lamar Jackson run, a design run. The whole middle of the field uncrashed. It's only one man to beat. Everybody is going to be sealed off. Look at these guys. Look at Baltimore. Lamar's going to pull that ball. These two guys are going to come around lead blocking, and you already got this guy out here to seal up whoever's back here, and all you got is one man. One man. Logan. No, you ain't getting outside. Not happening. All the way from the safety position, a tackle for a loss on the Lamar Jackson design run. Look at another blitz. Backfield. Jacksonville, no. Look at this. Open field. One of the best receivers in the league. Not going to happen. He has good hands, y'all. Good hands. Very good hands. Strips the ball and everything. That's him playing safety. The versatility, man. Sacked. Hand on the ball. I love his play, man. Sack. The ball had just got snapped, though. He was off the line of scrimmage. Fumble. Good hands, man. He knows how to create turnovers. Look at the physical play. Physical play. Bump and run. Look at this. Can stop on a dime and change direction with you. I like it. I'm sorry. I like this. Pick. How do you not? Corner blitz. Come here, Baker. Baker again. Pick. Somebody say he deserves $12 million from last season. He does, but the market, he thought Tennessee was going to pay him, but they paid Tannehill. He thought Tennessee was going to pay him, but they paid Tannehill. So he sent them a tweet like a while back and said, "I appreciate y'all's services on Tennessee. From New England to Tennessee to the future," whatever he said. But yeah, this is what we're talking about here. And people make it seem like, oh, he's a bum or something. I'm like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? The kid is really good, man. He's really good. And above all, like I told y'all before, he done missed 3 games in 7 seasons? In his entire career, he done missed 3 games in 7 seasons? I mean, come on. Why you think they talking to him? That's exactly why. He durable as well. It's easy one right there, man. Still doing favors for us in Miami with Logan leaving the Titans because of Ryan Tannehill signing. I know, right? Hey, see, fair point, dude. Man, you're right. Tannehill's still helping us out. And so, well, if we get him, you still got to get him, man. You still got to get him. He's a solid player, but the numbers got to add up. Of course. I mean, I'm not saying any more than that. 10 million, I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay. Don't get me wrong. 10 million, if it was pre-free agency, we might have did it. But before the free agency time period, he thought that Tennessee was going to give him like 14 from what I hear per year on a 3-year deal. And then that got scratched. He really thought they were going to give it to him when they franchised Derrick Henry. When they franchised him, he really thought they were going to give it. But then the whole talks with Tannehill, what were they going to do? He was just sitting to wait. What are they going to do about the quarterback situation? And how much are they going to pay him to see if there was something for him? Because they were talking to him like, we still want you, but we're trying to figure it out. And that sucked for him because he was in the last swing of free agency. Once they made that decision, he was like, I guess I'm available. I guess I won't be returning Tennessee. Thank y'all for y'all services in a tweet. Then he became a free agent and late free agent. So right now he's saying, I like to have $10 million because he knew that he was trying to get 14. And if he would have got in the market at the right time, he would have at least got 12. So now he understands that the market's dried up and he's around here saying, I want 10. And a lot of teams are still talking to him about it. They're just trying to really, man, we can't do 10, but we got this. We can't do this. And that's what's happening right now because the first person to say 10, he going to sign. Titans did him wrong, in my opinion. Well, I mean, they didn't have a quarterback. So what did you want them to do? They didn't have a quarterback. And you're right. And that's what's tough about it. That's what's tough about paying a quarterback. You got a guy who is a Pro Bowl alternate. And it's not easy to make the Pro Bowl as a corner. Y'all know that unless you get 6+ picks. Then you're probably automatic. It's not easy to make the Pro Bowl as a corner. But he was an official Pro Bowl alternate. Best season of his career after winning Super Bowls. 4 years in New England, 3 in Tennessee. Played out the duration of both contracts. It ain't like a team where the team was like, well, we don't want to pick up this last year. We're going to trade you and let you go. It is very rare for players to play out their entire contract. Y'all know that. And he played out both of them. Led the league in tackles. Obviously, you can see how gritty he is. He don't mind physical contact and in the backfield with the big running backs and the quarterbacks. So I can't say they did him dirty because he lived out his contract. And then on a contract year, he balled out. It's just the messed up game about free agency is when you think the team you're with is going to re-sign you and you're sitting there waiting while everybody's coming out the board. And then many teams ain't got no money left. And the money they do have left, they be giving you all of it. And nobody wants to go into a season with that type of situation. Let's just get Warford and go to battle. I'm with that. If they feel like it's a good character move for the locker room. I'm willing for Miami giving Logan $24 million for 3 years, 40% guaranteed. That ain't a bad deal, Phins Strong. See, people talk about he want $10 million. He want $10 million. What y'all have to understand is that $10 million changes depending on how many years you give him and how much guaranteed. I bet you if you told Logan Ryan that we'll give you $24 million fully guaranteed for 3 years, which is $8 million a year he's signed right now. Yeah, I bet if you told him we'll give you a 3-year, $21 million deal fully guaranteed he's signed right now. The $10 million a year is just him saying, I want to make sure that I walk out of this deal with $10 million. Because whatever deal he's going to get is probably going to be a 1 or 2 year deal, given his age. So when you add years on, or you play with the guaranteed money and up that annual can come down easily. He just needs security. He knows that if you sign him on a 2 year, $20 million, then he's going to play this year. And even if you cut him next year, I at least got $10 million. But if you start talking guaranteed money, 3 year, $21 million, which is $7 million a year, but we'll guarantee $15 million. Oh, what a pen. Now I'm guaranteed $15 million versus the 10 because I could get hurt. So all that annual don't matter if you add in a year and giving a little bit more guaranteed money to give him insurance or stability or assurance that I'm not going to get done dirty. And even if I do, at least they going to hand me a check on my way out of something. That's how that works, man. So you could always get them cheaper. It's just how you structure it. My honest assessment with a player like Logan Ryan being 28 years old, I would offer Logan Ryan, if I was Miami, I would offer Logan Ryan this actually is a good one. I would offer Logan Ryan a 2 year, $18 million deal with $14 million guaranteed. I said 2 year, $18 million. No, I did too much guaranteed. I would do 12 guaranteed. I would do 12 million guaranteed. 2 million, 2 year, 18 million. 2 year, 18 million, yes. 12 million guaranteed. People say that's too much money. If this was the beginning of free agency and we had $120 million, would it have been too much money? No. You're just you're counting you're counting your pockets right now. You're looking in your pockets right now. You're looking at the fact, all we got is 26. All we got is 26. That's why you're saying that. Oh, Engraving in the building? Where you at? Let me see. Shout out to the homie Engraving. How y'all doing this rainy afternoon? It ain't raining where I am. but we good, man. We good, man. We trying to get Logan Ryan, man, so we can end all that Baltimore stuff. Logan Ryan is a Lamar Jackson killer, man. Come on, Logan, man. Bring that price down. Come on to Miami. Somebody said too much, TD. What's too much about it? Could we give him $9 million this year? And if he balls out, we'll pay him $9 million next year, or cut him and give him $3 million and say thank you. TD, how do you get the new logo shirt? I'm waiting on my representative to basically talk to me about the patenting of it. But I'm about to put it in the merch store this weekend. On the so just check it out by Sunday evening. You should see the new shirt, the new logos in the merch store. Engraving Viz, he ain't a Lamar killer. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Logan Ryan was giving them that business in the playoffs. Y'all better go back and watch that game. Engraving, know he remember a few big plays where Logan Ryan got it done. In the AFC, what was it? The divisional round, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what it was. Stuffed a lot of runs, batted down a lot of passes. Played a good game. Our entire offseason has been about that Titans game. Yeah, y'all trying to gear up for that. Y'all trying to gear up for that. Y'all gonna have to figure out a way to stop Derrick Henry. I'm looking at our roster and the draft. Reggie Jordan, fair point. Engraven vids. We want revenge now. We're going to get our revenge versus the Ravens in the playoffs. If they make it, y'all. You know, we don't know if they're going to make it, but we are. But we'll get our revenge, y'all. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be sweet when we do. Promise you that. I'm gonna have to read into this. I think there was a incentive to the Rooney Rule. I think that's pretty legit. Always appreciate your community, man. I love everyone in here. TD, you got a special group of people here, man. They're the best, Engraven. That ain't a knock on your people, but they're the best, man. I enjoy it more than them. I think I enjoy this more than them. They make this very enjoyable for me. Just talking Dolphins football in general, and just having fun, man. And it's great people, man. They know how to communicate with other fans. Unless you're Buffalo Jets or New England, we get very disrespectful in a nice way, if that makes sense. But no, man, it's all love and family over here. But same on your end, man. You already know what time it is. Same on your end. Yeah, man, that's what it's about. Yes, man, just having fun, enjoying football, because especially these dry moments like this, these desert news moments where they try to make anything out of everything. But we'll see, man. We shall see. We shall see, man. We got to probably link up and do a collab soon, man. I want to get your thoughts on Lamar Jackson's chance of going MVP again. We shall see. I'll make one then. I never want to hear about week 1 of the 2019 season again. Oh, nah, man, we really do have payback with the Ravens, because listen, this is a moment where I don't care what E. Graven says, because he said, no, that ain't what it was, and this and that. They were disrespecting us. They up 40-something to zip, and they still throwing the ball all over the field. Lamar Jackson getting his feelings about the whole running back comment and stuff. But don't worry, we're going to have our payback. I was at the game. I remember sitting there like, wow, they like literally, they could have took knees at the end of the game and they still trying to score. Like they could have literally taken a few knees and they still trying to score. So now, man, we owe them one. We owe them one. I promise you that. We owe them one, man. Them Ravens, man, they did us kind of dirty on that one. It's no excuse. Engraven be making excuses. He be making excuses. Nah, that ain't what it was. You know, we were just I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, because I ain't gonna lie, it hurt my little feelings, man. It really did hurt my feelings. I was at that game. Look at my wife showed up in the comment section to talk about I was there. It was brutal. Yeah, we were there, man. Embarrassingly brutal. Man, like, gosh, man. Xavier Howard was getting cooked. Man, our whole secondary was getting cooked. Whole secondary getting cooked, man. Man. But that's all right. We gonna take care of that. They know who gonna be the kings of the AFC coming up very soon. That fake punt hurt. Yeah, that too. Like, you up by that much and you fake punting. That's what I'm talking about. That little stuff right there, what they were doing. That stuff right there. See, do you think Ravens would cut Earl Thomas because of the incident and we pick him up? I hope not, man. I hope not. I hope they don't cut him because of that, based off of the information that I've heard about it. At the end of the day, his morals and his character, that's his personal business. But legally, he did nothing wrong. You know, whether you don't like or like his personal business and the thing and his behavior, that's subjective. That's, you know, opinionated information. But legally, he did nothing wrong. So I hope that they don't do that. I don't think they should in that case. Whole season was brutal. Wow, babe, you really gonna do that? Can you please exit the chat before we block you? And I'm telling my wife we're gonna have to block her, y'all. Talking about the whole season was brutal. Stop that mess. Oh man. I'm going. Oh, he slowed down the Brown from taking them for 6 again. Go Ravens. Gamer God up in here, man. Worst to first, TD. AFCRs. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I think if we sign Logan Ryan, they will cut or trade X. First of all, they can't cut X. You ain't gonna take that kind of dead cap. I don't care if he was on the bench and never played a game. You still have him sit there at least. You can't cut because you're gonna have to pay. That's dead cap. No, we don't need that Ndamukong Suh dead cap. No, they ain't cutting him at all. Okay, that wouldn't make any sense unless they could void the contract for something off the field, and I don't see that happening. So that ain't happening. Trade now, that's possible. That's possible. That is very possible. The only way I can see them trading Xavier Howard is here's what Miami's fundamental belief would need to be in the front office. We trade him now so we don't have to pay the $15 million a year for the next 2-3 years, right? So we save 15. We know that we want to bring in a guy like Logan for $9 million a year, something like that, 8 or 9, but let's just say 9. We want to go worst case scenario. And we save basically $6 million from that deal. And Logan Ryan, we're doing on a 2-year deal while Noah develops, while Nick Needham develops, and while we still draft more corners if we have to develop at cheaper prices. But it would be bringing in a veteran who can do just as well, if not better, because he's more versatile in regards to being able to rush the quarterback, to make tackles for losses, those type of things. And that's what I mean by more versatile. So everybody argue with me or who better, I don't care. I know Logan Ryan is more versatile. There's no question about that. So then they can look at, all right, we saved $6 million in that. What do we do with it? I mean, so basically, if we got $22 million right now, I know that's all speculated. We still need to see some final numbers of some people deal. But if we got $22 million right there, and if we bring in Logan Ryan and we're to trade Xavier Howard, that means we literally picked up an asset in the trade. So whether it's a draft pick or another player that we like, and we saved $6 million. Now all of a sudden we got $28 million and a corner. We got $28 million and a corner. You know what I mean? So that would be the fundamental belief in the front office if they were to do something like that. You get more money and, in my opinion, a corner just as good and more versatile, can do a lot more in the Flores type defense, sending that blitz off the corner, off the slot, off the safety. That's when you get those exotic packages. Van Noy on the defensive line on the outside of the defensive end, looking like a blitz coming on the outside, while Logan Ryan is in the slot. In the ball hike, Logan Ryan beeline to the quarterback, and Van Noy drops back in coverage. That stuff all day. That would happen all day, messing up all offensive lines' heads. I'm gonna go play man throw dime with Ryan Tannehill. I heard Logan Ryan wants $10 million plus a season. Yeah, he can want what he wants, but if nobody go for it, he gonna be coming out. I want $9 million a season. Then he gonna be. Clowney wanted 22. Then he wanted 20. Then he wanted 18. Then he was like, Miami, is that 17 y'all was offering still there? Sorry, kid, no. Now they talk about 15. Now there's rumblings he could take a multi-deal of average of 14 per. So you can want what you want. If nobody biting, that number will change. You're not going to sit out a season, which means your NFL career probably would be, because you'd be going on 30 at that point. He's not going to sit to make a point. He's going to bring his price down. Heard Logan Ryan is strongly considering Jets. Unlikely he comes to Miami. That is false information. He may go to the Jets. May be the end, but strongly considering, that's not how the narrative was. Somebody brought it up to him about the Jets, and he said, That would sound great. I'm from there, but I'm open for business. So it's whoever the highest bidder is. Any team that said, if anybody came to him right now and was like, what you think about going to them? I mean, it sounds good if they're willing to pay the money. But Miles, there has been nothing more than that. There's been nothing more than that. Somebody from the Jets said, hey, man, the Jets want you this and that. Oh, that sounds great. Who ain't going to play it? Who ain't going to say that they want their money? He can say they can say right now, the Jags want you really bad. He going to say, that sounds great. And then the headlines, Logan willing to play for Jags. Logan wants to be a Jag. That's what's going to happen. He want to go, whoever going to give him the biggest bag. You think about it. He sees the writing on the wall. I'm still a great corner. And at the end of the day, I know that you can't play forever in this game. And I'm 28 years old. I'm coming to the point where teams look at me like, yeah, you're great, but at some point you got to hit that wall. And I don't want it to be us. We're not trying to do a 4-year deal. We're not trying to do a 3. We got a 2-year deal here. We got a 1-year deal here. This is where they get skeptical of players, even if they still good. So Logan is from Jersey. Yes, I just said that. Might want to play close to home. So if we don't get him, hopefully the Giants do. Possible. I mean, that's always a good thing to want to play home, but how often does that really happen? Everybody like, oh, he from the crib too, maybe he'll come to us, and it don't happen. Money talks over everything. Remember, he first 4 years was in New England. He went all the way to Tennessee and got his bag. Money, they don't care about money. During the playing season, they're going to be where they are. If they love their hometown that much, they live there in the offseason. You're not worrying about that. He's trying to get his bag. He's trying to go with the highest bidder to end his career, to make sure his family is going to be straight for the future. Greer on the phone talking up X, probably Cowboys. Listen, X, man, we already know X name is floated around there. Because listen, look at the 2 guys who just got in trouble. They got a warrant just issued for their arrest for armed robbery. Quentin Dunbar in the Giants corner too. And he was in the Giants corner was a first-round pick last year. He was their first-round pick. So you got the Giants' first-round pick at risk of not even playing this season, and Quentin Dunbar now at risk of not playing this season. 2 high-priority cornerbacks in this league. One a first-round pick. The other one, Quentin Dunbar, we all know. Corners are at a premium right now. Whew. So, yes. That's probably another reason why they like, man, we need to lock up Logan Ryan. Make sure the market get dry. Then we got leverage to trade Logan Ryan. We got leverage to trade Xavier Howard. We got leverage to trade Nick Needham. Up-and-coming young player who played nice, and his PFF and everything shows that he's heading in the right direction. Those 2 guys getting in trouble, man, that you know what that does for the market? You got 2 teams now that may be without their starting corner for the entire season. Do you know the impact that also will have? The impact? The taxes in Jersey are stupid. Florida, no state tax. The answer is easy, bro. Hey, you ain't lying. I don't know what the taxes is in Jersey, though. I don't know what the state tax rate is. But that's why I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all got to forgive me. I'm finna look it up because anything I don't know the answer to, I either stop writing it in there to find out or I write it down to find out later because I'm an information freak, because I don't like to live in ignorance. Anything I don't know, I don't just sit there and be like, I don't know, and just keep life moving. I go look it up. So Jersey state tax. Almost 7%, man. So, it was 7%. It was cut recently. It was cut recently temporarily just because of the pandemic. but it's pretty much 7%. 7%. So 10 million, he gonna have to give up about 700,000 off rip just from state sales tax. Plus, so when you look at making that kind of money, he's probably at somewhere like a 33-35% tax rate for federal government. Then you add the 7 on top of that, you're getting taxed about 42%. 42% tax total on a 10 million. So basically you coming home with about what? 5,800,000. You make 10 million, you come home with 5,800,000 at the federal taxes, then you add the state tax. People don't think about that. People don't think about the people that's making 20 million a year, but only bringing about 11 million home in their pocket, depending on what state they play in. Man, boy, oh boy. Whew. Oh, I didn't know that. It said in Jersey, for earning 500,000 or more, the tax rate on every dollar of income earned is 9%. Oh man, yeah. Some of them have staggered ones like that. So the general tax rate is 7, but it's 9 if you make more than 500,000. That's even worse. Even worse. And y'all think that stuff don't matter? That's 2 cars every year in a nice one at 100,000 each of a difference, just for making that much money. But then you talk about Florida, you save yourself almost $1 million by coming down to Florida. That's why you can offer a $9 million deal and say virtually it's the same. That's a benefit, y'all. That's crazy, man. These state taxes and stuff. See, I've never lived in a place with state tax. That's what I don't even know the feeling. I don't even know the feeling of state taxes. Texas, and I mean property tax, I understand, but Texas and Florida, 2 places I've lived. I don't even know what state tax feels like. Somebody said 9% extra and got to shovel snow. Nope. Good point. What they don't get is if you do not tax people, they spend more and you get more tax revenue. If you don't tax people, they spend more and you get more tax revenue, which is true. And you're opening it up to have more businesses as well. And maybe there's an offset in their corporate prices, you know? Maybe corporate taxes may be more beneficial or something. I don't know. I don't know all the details on it. I could look it up, but I don't know all the details on it. But yeah, man, you're right. The more pumped into the economy and stuff it makes the economy richer, better. More people want to live there. The more people live there, the more property taxes that you can get to help develop areas and newer areas. It's a big system, man. My skinny wallet will teach you about income taxes. Man, those are the only states I will live in. 7 states do not have state income tax: Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. That is so crazy to me that basically what you're saying is if there's 7, literally 80%, more than 80% of the states, literally 85+% of the states have state tax. That is, oh man. Drawback is services are not as well funded. I don't know, man. I guess services aren't as well funded, but I tell you what, here in Florida, I mean, I just don't know what services that are needed that aren't funded that well. And I'm sure there are a lot. I just don't know many. My house is a nice 76 degrees here in Florida. I think mine right now is like 73. Oh, man, don't get it twisted. It's not out here, but better have money for real, for real. It's nice out here, but better have money. I don't know. Oh, you talk about Florida? My wife is like addicted to Florida. She loves her some Florida. Born and raised in Texas, but coming to Florida, she just smiles every time we get right when you pass about Palm Beach. She just starts smiling. She just be like, I just love it down here. It's just so beautiful, clear and sunny and bright and windy and nice. And I'll be like, yeah. And I can't live in a state where it is different to own a gun. It's difficult to own a gun. Whew. My wife want to move to Miami so bad. Weather great right here in LA. Yeah, my parents, I was born and raised down south. So it's just crazy to me, man. It's the people don't understand though. Growing up in Miami, and the experience may be different from some of y'all. Growing up in South Florida, it's almost like a blessing that I actually went off to college and I've traveled to 30 states. I've been to over 30 states, and to understand what else is out there. Because I remember like take Florida, for instance. You can have a really nice, like take an apartment, for instance. Like me and my wife was looking at it one time when we went down there. It was like a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom for like $2,200. And when I was in Texas, the equivalence of that is literally like $900 to $1,100. Like literally, it is like ridiculously different. And it's cheaper up here in Central Florida, but it still costs. And of course, you got areas where you could pay less, but give or take what you want to deal with and what you don't want to deal with. So it's, man, I'm telling y'all, the cost of living in Florida, depending on where you are, it could be something. Florida mosquitoes will carry you away. I don't know. It depends on how you set up, but I get what you're saying because I'm a fisherman. Me and my dad, I was born and raised fishing. So I understand what you mean when it comes to mosquitoes. I know everything and you need to know about them. But my parents have a home in South Florida, and I was born and raised there. And that ain't an issue to me, Fish dolphins. Well, yeah, I do actually catch dolphins in the ocean, and people who are fishermen, they know what I'm talking about. Not dolphins, mahi. Okay, that is what you also call a dolphin. But yeah, man, it's just crazy to me though. What I was saying is, when you live down South Florida, I'm happy that I was able to get out because I look at a lot of friends and this and that and this. Let me tell y'all, when I first I worked for corporate America. When I graduated college, I got a job at corporate America, and I'll never forget my first paycheck as a young 20-something-year-old man was like $1,100 in 2 weeks, and I was floored because all I knew in South Florida is get a general job that you're gonna make about $500-$600 every 2 weeks because that's all you know as a young kid. And I was floored. And yeah, they have higher paying jobs in South Florida, but what I realized is the pay does not equate to the cost of living at all. The pay doesn't equate at all. Even your $20, $25, $30 an hour jobs does not equate for the living in certain areas. It is like crazy. Totally different. And then when I moved to Dallas and you make 35 or 40 an hour or something, but you're paying half of the price it would cost to live back home in Florida. It was like, whoa. I don't even know what to do with extra money. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. And I work for an insurance company. I worked for Geico for 9 years, 8.5 years. I was a member of management, supervisor, management programs, all of that stuff. And I actually did very well, promotion after promotion, making from a salary standpoint, a good amount. It was just totally different, man. Totally different. And then you go back home, and then in the same company, one time I was going to transfer back to Florida, and the pay was $3,000 less than what I was making in Florida, and the cost of living was twice. The cost of living was twice. In every job on the pay scale, the pay was a little less, and the cost of living was more. And I was like, this isn't adding up. Same thing in New York. If I would have transferred to New York, it would have been like 2,000 more, but the price is way crazier. Like Dallas is I ain't gonna lie, Dallas is an amazing place from a price standpoint to live. It's crazy. It is crazy. But yeah, man, it's this world out here, man. It's just you are what you're exposed to. You gotta. That's why I tell people, encourage them to tell their kids when they graduate high school, encourage them to just go. Yeah, go to another state, go somewhere, just learn a little more, because it's not just where you are. There's so much out there, so much people don't know. EM said it's outstanding. Yes, EM in Fort Worth, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Literally 45 to 50 minute different from Dallas, right on the other side, same system, same way it goes. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's crazy, man. But that's what I loved about Dallas more than anything. Like, Dallas is the perfect place. It's only missing one thing: water. Like, good, beautiful water. Like our water, y'all. Florida water. You know, just water everywhere. Not man-made stuff. I'm talking about beaches with breeze, like wind coming off of the ocean and just making the day beautiful. You know, that's what is missing. When it's hot, it's too hot. When it's cold, it's too cold. I remember the first year I moved to Dallas, it was a 106-degree day. It was a 106-degree day. Shout out to Gio Cabrera with the donation. It was 106 degrees. I remember when I moved. The day I moved, that's how hot it was. And once the summer hits and it gets over 90, ain't no turning back. And then in the winter, you like, man, it might get down to the 60s. No, it can get down to 22, 12. It loves staying right there at 30 and 40. It loves just sitting there. It just, man, and nobody know how to drive when the ice is the road's ice over at all. It's crazy, man. So it's the only thing problem I got with Central Texas, North Central Texas, is the weather, man. The weather. Too hot or too cold. It ain't much of year in the middle. It's just not. And it be freezing cold all the way through April. All the way through April, man. Shout out to Drew Boo with the donation. Say, everyone have a great weekend. Phins rising. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, man. Have a great one. Palm Beach County is in the building. What's up, baby? Bro, 25. I can't live anywhere without an ocean. We have fish. Oh yeah, that's flip side fishing. Yes, man. I was born and raised, like me and my dad. We did so much fishing, man. It was times where we in the summer when I was out of school, me and my dad would go fishing every single day, twice a day. We would go saltwater fishing. And then we'll leave saltwater fishing and drive straight out west to do some freshwater fishing, catch some bass, some peacock bass, catch some brims, shell crackers, perch, Oscars, everything, man. Everything, man. So it was times where we literally had two different coolers, saltwater and freshwater, every single day, y'all, twice a day. Me and my dad, when I was growing up, that's all we did is fish. That's all we did. I like Pembroke. What he said. I like Pembroke Pines, Florida. My wife loves Pembroke Pines. My wife loves Pembroke Pines. She keep telling me, okay, when are we moving down there? I said, all right, we just give it a little bit longer and we'll start talking about that next year. We just got settled where we are. So. But yeah, and I wouldn't mind being closer home. Again, that's where my parents are. That's where I was born and raised. But I told her, you see, everybody, you have to realize South Florida. I don't want to live in South Florida to work and pay bills. Like that's why I'm working hard to build my business and do things like that, because I want to be able to be down there and literally go to the beach every single day if I wanted to. That's how you live on Florida. Like, go to Florida, go to any beach down south on the East Coast, go to any beach or any regular day of the week at 1 p.m. It ain't got to be the summer. It could be October where everybody at work and, well, everybody's at work and all the kids are at school. And tell me why the beach is still loaded. The beach is still loaded. And people think that it's tourists. No, those people live there and they enjoy the beach every day. And that's what I work towards. That's exactly what I work towards. And I say I take my kids to the beach and I sit down with them on the sand and say, this is what I want y'all to be able to do on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. Be out here. Be out here. So that's what I'm working towards. I'm from Kendall, down south. Scarface made in Miami. Yes, we might be neighbors next time. I live in Pembroke Pines, LOL. And Pembroke Pines getting more and more expensive, man. TD, update me on the latest news if you can. Just got online. Ain't no latest news, honestly. In Dolphin world, as far as everything happening, they said that we might have a top 5 cornerbacks unit in the NFL. They came out with that today. They also did an article from the Sun Sentinel said that we should double our win total this year. Well, they're giving a reason why we should double our win total this year. So everybody who said that I'm being a homer for feeling the same way, go antagonize them. Outside of that, I mean, it's just business as usual. They're trying to sign all the draft picks. Also, they said that we should be 3rd in the AFC East, which they're wrong every year about our standing. Devon Gottschall came out and said everybody's going to go crazy. Well, he said freak out. I think he said everybody's going to freak out if there's no NFL season. Well, I know he is because he definitely wants to bring his stock up this year because it's an important year for him to do so. And outside of that, that's what's going on. That's pretty much what's going on. More people, ESPN now had a debate this morning on whether Tua should start game 1. It ain't just a TD thing, and I'm starting this and starting that. Like all the people who mad at me about Tua keep on saying. Yesterday it was undisputed. Today ESPN debated it on the show. It's just some of the same stuff. Some of the same stuff going on out here, man. So that's what it is. Floridians can't handle less than 50 degrees, TD. You're right. No. Let me say this. They can't handle it, but they actually enjoy a little bit of it sometimes. So Devon is feeling the heat from Raekwon and Benito Ray. Yeah. Every reason to feel the heat. Let me see here. Let me post the link. Post the link real quick. Can't wait till the season starts. We all can, man. This year, we just want some great football because we know that we should be better, right? We know that we should be better this year. We want to see this team thrive. I don't think that a lot of Dolphin fans can take it in their heart for disappointment this season. Like, disappointment comes in different ways. If we aren't as successful as 10 wins and we only win like 6 or 7 games, I think we could still hang our head high if we're competitive in 90% of the games. That's a good thing. But what we can't have is a season like last season. Even though we need to build camaraderie and gel, we can't do what we did last year. We can't start off 0-6 or none of that mess or whatever it was. We just can't do that. We can't take that. I don't think I'd be able to take that, y'all. I wouldn't be able to take that. Because let's be honest, if the Miami Dolphins were to start 0-6, it starts to become an indictment on Brian Flores. I know the expectations are high, but 0-6, bringing in all that talent, it starts to be an indictment on Brian Flores. It's his first official indictment. Can't. And I agree, Dwayne. We can't have games 59-10 and 43-0. No. 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 It's not cool. Unacceptable, man. And I'm not with it. I would not be able to take it, y'all. That's all I'm saying. All right. But yeah, man. But I think that this is gonna be a surprising year, and we're gonna be very successful. Right now, I'm trying to figure out the preseason because this is a peculiar time. Preseason schedule just came out as far as the official dates. The Miami Dolphins will be playing on Friday night for the very first preseason game in Atlanta. And then the next 3 preseason games are all on Thursday night. All on Thursday night. But we don't have any nationally televised preseason games. We don't have any. And then Miami always has these issues during preseason where they talk about blackouts and stuff because the game isn't sold out. But how could the game be sold out now when you're going to have situations of COVID keeping the attendance down? So they should definitely want to televise it for people. But depending on where you stay, you're just not going to get the Miami Dolphins preseason game. But you can tune in to TDPHINSTALK because I'll do whatever I can to make sure I get it. What's up, Donald?
What's up, TD? How we swinging, baby?
Man, we swinging. I'll just put it like that. We're swinging. We're doing what we got to do, man, to get ready for this season and win this Super Bowl.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm saying we have the front office as well as the coaching staff in place to do this and accomplish this, as well as the talent now other than we did last year. So I'm looking forward to the season. But TD, I'm going to start something first and foremost. I might as well. I'm 54 years old, so I'm older than most of your listeners. So I think I can do this and be justified in what I do. I had good friends, like EM and Reason. I heard them talking about the Josh Rosen situation.
Okay.
And I want to be perfectly clear. I think myself and other fans who are talking about Josh Rosen, I just want us to be kind of clear as to what we're saying concerning his attempt at being the Miami Dolphins starting quarterback. The one thing the reason why many are saying give him an opportunity and a chance is this. I take totality of the whole entire career in which Josh Rosen has endured. His 1 year at Arizona. Do you realize that while he was there and drafted, he was drafted to sit under Sam Bradford to begin to learn the offense. But by game 3, Sam Bradford got hurt and he was inserted into the starting role as starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Mind you, not only did Bradford get hurt, but also the running back Johnson got hurt. Not only did he get hurt, the entire offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals got hurt. And the one thing that they failed to mention is this. Josh Rosen was sitting under a first-year head coach who never coached an NFL game in his life until he got to Arizona. And you see what happened to him. He was fired after the first season. So I take all of that into consideration. Now, does that mean that Josh Rosen don't have to perform? Oh, look, you're an NFL quarterback now, baby. You've been in the league now 3 years. You got to show improvement over the past 2 years, from the past 2 years to this year. That's no exception. He has to come into camp and want to show not only Brian Flores, but to himself that I deserve to be the starter of the Miami Dolphins. Will that happen? That remains to be seen. So he has to show up and he has to perform. But I am not putting any of the first year on him. That is ridiculous based on his circumstances by how he came into Arizona. When he came to Miami, hey, look, the bottom line is we gave us up a second round pick to get him at Miami. We need some return on investment. I'm tired of hearing about talking about giving him a bus ticket now. We would lose a second round pick getting nothing for him if we cut him. And I'm telling you right now, let me go ahead and put this rumor out here now. If anybody is cut from the Miami Dolphins out of four quarterbacks on that team, I'm saying it right now. It'll be Ruddock, and it will be Fitzpatrick. Why? Fitzpatrick makes the most, $10 million. That'll be a savings for the Miami Dolphins for the year, where they could use it on something else. And number two, Ruddock, yes, he has a futures contract, but that does not guarantee anything. So with that being said, I am saying right now, they are not paying Josh Rosen's salary. He's still a rookie QB in which he's only given up $4 million. So he ain't going nowhere this year. So I'm letting you know he needs to be given an opportunity to go ahead and get in camp and win the job. He still got to do his part. But I think by him now getting the playbook the same time as Fitzpatrick and Ruddock, because he lost 2 months before he got it when he came last year.
True.
So he didn't have that opportunity. He now has a competent offensive line. He should have a competent offensive line this time, as well as a running game. The excuses are gone. So now I'm with them. If he can't go in there and win the job from a 16-year veteran and from a rookie QB, yes, he needs to go. Will he be gone? Maybe. But if that's the case, it'll play out in camp and in the preseason. That's all I got to say.
All right, so first let me get a homie Miles Johnson a wrench, and shout out to Havoc. What's up, homie? Can you hear us, Havoc?
How's it going? How's it going, TD?
There you
Good
go.
to see you, man.
Oh, Havoc, is there a delay on your end?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, Havoc, I want you to elaborate on that, and then I'm gonna say my what I feel on that. I don't know if Havoc, it might be a major delay on his end.
I think so.
Hey, Havoc, you might want to go out and come back in, all right? Hopefully he hears that. Because I know he can hear, but I think he's getting it late. Mm-hmm. All right, so let me say something about that. Right. Let me bring in Finsanity first. What's up, Finsanity?
The class of the clan. Look at it.
So here's my thing, okay? Josh Rosen, whole situation. Donald, I want to, and it sounds like this is what you did, and that's what I like about what you just did. But let me elaborate real quick. All right. Mm-hmm. When we talk about Josh Rosen, let's take any opinions, feelings, and everything away from the situation. Here's what, honestly, it does bother me. I will be honest with everybody. This is one thing that bothers me when we evaluate players. For some reason, we choose to ignore the elements around them, the situation, the context to the story. You just gave us a lot of context. If you look at stats and win-loss, that doesn't give context.
No, it doesn't.
But you just gave a lot of context. And I'm not even going to stay on Ryan Tannehill long at all, probably 10 seconds, but it's the same thing. We wanted to continue to ignore the situation around him and always put majority of the weight on him. Now, some of it is justified. Tannehill deserves some criticism. Josh Rosen is also not exempt from the criticism that people give him. Agreed. But the problem is when we pile on that criticism more than we should, because we don't know how to marginalize. Excuse me, I said marginal. We don't know how to marginalize evaluating someone. Oh, he can't read. He has terrible pocket presence. He also has the worst O-line in the NFL.
Yes.
You know? Oh, well, he throws late to guys because he still needs to develop and learn to be a pro or whatever it may be. Now, I'm not saying these things are true. I'm just giving examples, examples of what I mean by people don't know how to marginalize the criticism that players get. So I've been on record, and to sum up everything you just said, Donald, and to give my final take on it, I don't care what anybody says about a player. I listen because it's all information that I evaluate.
Right.
But I don't care about what anybody says about a player as a final conclusion until you put them in a situation where you eliminate all the excuses. Because when people say, oh, that's an excuse, then eliminate it and let's find out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see because when you eliminate it and he gets the job done now, was it really an excuse? See, it's easy to throw out, that's an excuse, that's an excuse, that's an excuse, that's an excuse. But when you eliminate those excuses and say, now show me something, and they show you something, then was it an excuse in the first place? But unfortunately, you don't always get a scenario where you can be able to eliminate the excuses. That's why I love the Tannehill situation more than anything.
Yes. He
went to a situation where these excuses were eliminated. And nobody has anything to say. They're hush mouth, or they're making their excuses now. Oh, Derrick Henry carried them. Well, I said give him a good running game.
Yes.
I said give him time to throw. Give him a balanced team with some weapons and protection. I said all those things. Pocket presence looked darn good last year.
Yes.
Yes. So at the end of the day, for those who love to throw out the word, those are excuses. I tell you, eliminate them so that we can really find out. Just because you say it, don't make it a fact.
Yes.
So I don't never like to evaluate or grade players until you eliminate the and it goes vice versa. Yes. Somebody can be balling out. They could be balling out. That's why I say put Patrick Mahomes in an average situation. Put Cam Newton in an average situation. Put Deshaun Watson in an average situation. Put Kaepernick in an average situation. Put RG3 in an average situation. Put a lot of those guys that end up being in an average situation. And what happened? Because before they were in an average situation, they were breaking records. They were winning MVPs. And then the flip side excuses start coming. Well, it was really their injury or this and that. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It can go both ways. So I don't want to sit here and make it look like it's one way, but it also goes for the great players. Tom Brady is the epitome of it. He made sure he took less money so he could never be in an average situation, which is smart. It's the smartest thing, but he kind of proves the point. And the man said it himself. The GOAT at the quarterback position said it out of his own mouth. This ain't speculation. These are his words. Why aren't you the highest paid? Because I enjoy the competitive advantage. And I keep on referencing that to people. Do people not know what that means? Competitive advantage? To have better talents around me? Those are his exact words. I prefer and enjoy the competitive advantage of having better competition around me. Yes, ma'am.
Please highlight Joe Miller's comment. That right there, that is the comment of the day, because what are you talking about?
I'm doing all right.
Joe Miller said Tannehill needs help around him to be great, unlike a Mahomes. Well, you know what, Joe? But what y'all have to understand is Joe might be right. But Joe, the unfortunate part is we won't know if you're right until Mahomes doesn't have everything around him. That's what I'm trying to teach.
Sure.
You won't know until he doesn't have everything around him. Because when he gets his 40, 45 million or whatever it is, and they have to strip that team, if they go 9-7, then what? Well, it wasn't his fault. But they're 9-7 and they missed the wild card or whatever it was. Then what do we say? Well, it wasn't him. It was just the team around him. I agree, but once again, why isn't he great? It ain't his fault he getting sacked all the time because they can't block for him, because they can't get the right O-line in front of him. Come on, man. You think Patrick Mahomes is putting up 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards with the Miami Dolphins or the Arizona Cardinals offensive line 2 years ago? If anybody who believes that, you're really being delusional. You're literally just want to be right. You will ignore facts just to be right. You really think Patrick Mahomes would throw 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards if he had the Miami Dolphins or the Arizona Cardinals offensive line 2 years ago? Stop.
People forget that Mahomes inherited a playoff team, and not a lot of quarterbacks do that. One, you got a Pro Bowl tight end who's now seen as the best, second best when Gronk was in New England, right? We can all debate that one. Then he had Kareem Hunt, who came out of nowhere, and had he not got himself into trouble, he would still have Kareem Hunt. Then on top of that, after Kareem Hunt, you get a guy like Damian Williams, who goes out and balls in the Super Bowl, keeping the team somewhat relevant in the score. Now, granted, he did not have a defense. I will say that. They had to get better on the defense. Defensive mistake derailed their first, first run. But for you to say that Mahomes doesn't have help around him, are you kidding me? Tyreek Hill goes down, and then McCall Hardman and some kid named Pringle comes in and balls out and replace in the place of Tyreek Hill. Are you kidding me? Y'all know how I feel about T. Hill, and I don't, I evaluate people after they leave the team. But for you to say a comment like that, come on, Joe. Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so. You can't do that.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Rhino Sid says he would still basically have 40 touchdowns and 4,500 yards. Rhino, let me say this, and I want to say it live in front of everyone because we go back and forth a lot. Most of the things you say, because your next comment was prove me wrong. I don't have to prove you wrong because you might be right. When are you going to settle with the fact that TD says that you might be right? But again, time will tell. We're not debating here. You might be right. He might, with the bad O-line, he might still throw 40 touchdowns and 4,500 yards. Maybe. And that's great to me.
Where? At Arizona?
If he had a terrible O-line. I know. I don't think he would, but
I will go against Rhino and let him know, no, you're wrong on that.
What?
You are wrong on that. Because
about what?
I'm saying Josh Rosen, the year that Josh Rosen got the starting gig, the only healthy receiver he had was Larry Fitzgerald. That was it. The tight end went down, the two.
I thought we were talking about offensive line.
Well, I did say offensive line, but I didn't even mention the wide receivers. The only healthy wide receiver that he had that whole year was Larry Fitzgerald. He didn't have anybody else. And that's what I'm saying. I look at the totality of every player in the situation that they're in. And for Rosen, as a rookie, a 20-year-old rookie being thrown to the Lions den where everybody knew the only thing you got to do is blitz the quarterback, and he's done. With that O-line, I'm telling you, they did it there at Arizona. They did it when he was inserted into the starting lineup in Miami, because guess what? He was not prepared. He's a 22-year-old QB who has sat under one veteran quarterback to try to learn an NFL offense. This is the first year that all of the QBs for the Miami Dolphins get the playbook at the same exact time. The offensive coordinator is a teacher. That's the reason why Chad O'Shea is gone. He did not develop Rosen. He did not develop Ruddock. And that's the reason why he's gone, as well as 3 positional coaches. They're gone because they didn't develop the players that were there. Now he has a clean slate. And I'm still saying right now, if Josh Rosen does not perform, out the door you go. He's got to do it now. But there is no excuses.
And he has to. I mean, this is a make or break year, but I gotta finish this real quick because Rhino Sith is just not getting it. Okay, let me help him real quick. Let me help him. Right, I need to show everybody what he's saying right now. He said you are trying to compare a fictional situation. You may be right. I mean, you may be correct, and I may be correct We don't know. Yes? You're correct. Now he goes on to say this. Watch this. Watch this. He says, it's an opinion, nothing more. Let me show you the difference, Rhino C. You're saying that I'm comparing a fictional situation and you are as well. Yes, but when you start saying that he will have 40 touchdowns and 4,500 yards, it doesn't go to an opinion anymore. You're basically stating what someone will have. You leave the conversation of what is possible. You start giving numbers of what will be. So you're saying that if he had a bad O-line, prove you wrong that he wouldn't have 40 touchdowns for 4,500 yards. That's where it's not an opinion. You're literally listing numbers of saying what he will have. Now, if you preface that with I believe he will have, but when you add prove me wrong, you're not making it an opinion.
All right, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, right? I'm gonna say that Rhino, that's what I call him because I can't pronounce his name. I think Rhino's he's saying
that's Rhino's youth.
Rhino, I understand what Rhino's saying. Rhino is saying because of Patrick Mahomes' ability to get outside the pocket, his mobility. I always state that right now the deadliest move in the NFL is a Mahomes spin out, because once he spins out of that, he's airing that ball like 50 yards and no one's stopping it. It's the most dangerous move. As soon as he spins out, I'm like, it's over. I understand when he's saying it from that. He's saying Patrick Mahomes can make up for not having a good offensive line in front of him because of his mobility. So he doesn't feel like his numbers would drop off as much. Because remember, I think he's like getting like 50 touchdowns and stuff like that. So at least he did make a margin where it went down a little bit. He didn't say that he would still put up the exact same numbers.
You keep saying offensive line. That ain't what this was about. It was about weapons around him. Weapons started with Joe Miller. Weapons never had to do with Rhino. Conversation in a perfect situation with a good team around him. Tannehill had a run game. Tannehill had receivers. Tannehill had good blocking. All of that, because he could spin out all he wants. If he spins out, heads towards the sideline and throw that bomb, if he had Preston Williams dropping the ball, did it matter? So that's the whole point. But I think I've come to the conclusion of what the difference is between me and Rhino Seat and what he's not seeing. I'm very literal with words, and maybe that's a downfall on my end. I'm a literal person. When I say in my opinion, that prefaces what I'm about to say. When you hear me say what I'm going to say, you don't hear me say in my opinion. Or when you say something, you don't preface it with my opinion. You just state it as if it's a fact. I think that's the fundamental difference when me and you communicate with each other is, TD, you said that you want Tua to start. I never said that. We had a long thread last night. Me and you were going back and forth in, and I never said I want Tua to start. Nobody on here has ever heard me say I want Tua Tagovailoa to start game one. I said if it was me on a preference and emotion, I would, if it was me. Remember, I started out with that, right? If it was me, in my opinion, rest the kid. Let him learn, because I feel like he has certain things that he can work on that takes time to develop, that he needs to see how this NFL game is. But
like Mahomes.
Yeah, it was same thing. He sat and he learned. There's a lot of people say he wouldn't have been what he did. I don't know.
It only benefits the quarterback to sit, you know?
Yes, but if I'm sitting here talking about, but there is an argument to be made that he will start. Not that I want him to. If he's killing fits in practice and Flores really means what he says and plays the best player available, he could start. So why does Ryder Seed come and say, TD, why do you want him to start? Like, you gotta listen to every word being said. And I'm an actual stickler of words. Every word you say means something to me because it puts the context of what you're trying to say. Because some people just talk and then, or they hear removing, in my opinion, or this and that and this. You got to pay attention to every word that's said to dissect what's really being said. And that's why I keep going back and forth with specific individuals. They saying I said something that I know I never said. I don't want the kid to start. But if he's leaps and bounds better than Fitzpatrick, and he doesn't have an injury concern, I can see Flores and them starting him because he gives us the best chance to win. That's Flores' mantra. But tonight, somebody's going to say, oh, now you want Tua to start. Where do you get that from?
You know, when I'm looking at the situation, and I think, you know, the Marino stories started off with him killing Woodley in practice. Yeah. And then Don Shula, he went to him, he said, look, we all know you're the guy. So, you know, for really kind of looking at our QB situation right now, you know, as we sit here today, Tua is the starter for the Miami Dolphins. There's no doubt about it. But they're plastic. They got him plastic wrapped, and that's the way forward. If we're really going to optimize what his ceiling is, I think in the coach's eyes. Now, in terms of Rosen, you know, if he's looking for a fair shot, he's not going to get it around here. That's just the honest proof. I mean, he's not in the future. Like, we don't need a future backup quarterback, right? Like a future backup quarterback that's always going to think he's a starter. Now, can he be a starter? He's going to have to make his way and figure that out for himself. But at a certain point, for us as an organization, our priority is just boosting up his value, boosting up his confidence, because there's always stooges in the NFL. There's always people looking to make a deal to save their job. And it's very easy to go to a fan base. It's very easy to go to an owner and say, hey, we got a former top 10 pick out here, and we can get him for a fifth. What do you think? You can always find someone that you can pull that deal off on. So
yes, Havoc, I hear what you're saying, my man. However, let's turn this full circle. Again, the Dolphins gave up a number 2 pick for Josh Rosen to get him here at the Miami Dolphins. He still has 3 years remaining on his contract, including this year. And they are not paying for it. This is Arizona footing this bill. With this being said, they're not losing anything by having him and trying to increase his value. How is he going to increase his value if he is not given an opportunity to get in there and play? Because the one thing that could be argued, last year, he didn't know the playbook. Again, Fitzpatrick and Ruddock had the playbook 2 months before he even got a chance to look at it. Sure. All right. So I understand that. So he was ill prepared to go in and lead the Miami Dolphins in 2019. Understand that. Now you got a new offensive coordinator in Chan Gailey. He has just given the playbook to everyone, including the QBs. All of them got it at the same time to include Tua Tagovailoa. Sure. And he, going forward, would probably be the starting QB. But even EM has said this. If Josh Rosen comes in and flat balls out and takes the job in camp, if he takes it and he's the starter going forward, and he does it not only this year, because we don't want a one-hit wonder, he does it again the following year, which I don't think they're going to have him. I think they're going to trade him. If he gets his stock up, they will trade him. So he will be able to go forward and have that, beyond a shadow of a doubt, of being a starter NFL quarterback.
I'm going to interject a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I think if we're honestly looking at Josh Rosen's projection, right, as a starting quarterback or a quarterback in this league with an ideal way to grow in this league, which he has not had, which we all know he has not had. Yeah. His quality is a questionable backup. Honestly, that is his ceiling in this league. And there is a market for that. There are guys who've had 10-year, 15 careers as questionable backups. We got one as a starter right now. But going forward, you know, Rosen, he needs to make a way, and it's not going to be here. They put too many chips into Tua. And you said, you know, we got a second for him. You know, Arizona's mad. They put a first for him. Everyone's mad. Anyone who's made a deal for Rosen is mad right now. Why? So at a certain point, you got to stop digging. Look,
wait a minute.
Gave up a second. That's the end of the game. We gave up a second. We make bad decisions. We just gave up Charles Harris for a 7th. We make bad decisions. It happens. At a certain point, you got to stop digging. Go ahead.
Let me interject on that because I want to interject on what both of you guys said, Donald and Havoc. First, I want to agree with Havoc in the first thing he said, so I want to go way back, and then I'm gonna give you a reason why I disagree with the last thing he said. But the first thing he said, he actually brought up something very interesting that I was dying to get in, but I didn't want to interrupt. He said something. See, we keep on talking about Rosen on whether he's the guy or this and that, and this. He actually brought up something that should be the real conversation. This should be the real conversation about Rosen.
He got one pick before Miami.
Well, hold on. This is the real conversation about Rosen. Will he even get a fair chance to prove himself? And when Havoc said that, it hit me because I was like, you're right. Because if Tannehill didn't teach you something, because at the end of the day, you had a regime and Brian Flores came in and had a decision to make with Tannehill. And Tannehill, I'm not saying that it's 100% proven, but he showed that it wasn't solely him. And it may not be solely Rosen as the issue, but at the same token, their mind could be made up, whether that's negative or positive. And that's where I kind of disagree with Havoc, because there's reason to believe the mind is made up with the drafting of Tua Tagovailoa. But if you look at what Flores is doing, stockpiling people at positions where it doesn't matter who you already got, you don't know if the mind's made up. So it's easy to assume, because I'm with you. I ain't gonna lie. A part of me could make that assumption as well. Mine is made up. They're gonna move on when they can. They are trying to get the value up. Okay. But the real conversation is, will he even get the fair opportunity? Because think about it. The reason why I said I don't agree that they feel like, oh, his value at best is a backup is because Fitzpatrick came in last year. It sucked when he first played.
I said Rosen came in backup.
Well, even that. But what I'm saying is, when they come out and they say things like, we gave him a checklist and he's completed it. And I can't wait to see the kid compete in camp, whatever it may be. All that talk. It could be smoke or it could be validity. A lot of us don't want to believe there's any validity because of what we saw in those first few games. Especially when you add on from Arizona. There's no reason to be optimistic, right?
All right.
But when you talk about situation, Ryan Fitzpatrick was in the same situation, but the more he played, then things turned around. And if they're sitting here, that's the thing that's bothering. We can call Flores and Greer a liar and say they're playing a PR game, but all they do is make it seem like he's improving. He's hit all the check marks, and they're excited for the kid, and they recognize what he's went through when he first started. He had an unideal situation in Arizona. He came here and had an unideal situation, and that's real hard for a young kid. And I think that he has a bright future.
All right, TD. I just got one. You're spot on. You and Havoc. I understand where you're coming from, but let me ask you this, then. What does Ryan Tannehill, Alex Smith, what's my man up there in Chicago right now?
Trubisky or Foles?
Mitch Trubisky.
Okay.
And Josh Rosen all have in common?
I don't know. Tannehill
not much.
Hard to compare.
All of them were former first-round picks who have been given multiple opportunities to succeed in the NFL. Because if you ask me, Alex Smith should have been a backup 4 years ago. He was given 7 years to sit up and try to become a starting QB. Because he started off at Frisco, got traded to Kansas City, then went to Washington.
Hold on. Is this the Alex Smith that went to the
Redskins and tore his leg up?
No. In Kansas City, the year that Mahomes sat, how far did that team go?
They went to the playoffs.
No, but didn't they go to the championship game, the AFC?
Yeah, they did. But I'm saying he was in the league 8 years in doing that. His first 4 years, he flat stunk. There was no ifs, no ands, no. In fact, the first 6 years, Alex Smith was below average. He was a running QB that could not play and could not put the ball in an average situation throwing a medium pass on an out. He couldn't do it.
I was just bringing that up to throw shade because Alex Smith went to the AFC Championship game and Mahomes took over and did the same thing, and they make it seem like the team wasn't a factor. Yes. We talk about Alex Smith. The same thing Patrick Mahomes did, went to the AFC Championship game.
Same thing, Mitch Trubisky, when he came in, he's a former first-round pick. They're finally getting some competition in order to make him try to become a better QB in Chicago. I don't know why I
keep saying
AFC.
I'll say in regards to that, at a certain point, when you're looking at the players on the roster, it's a game of asset management. And when you have assets you need to get off of, you need to shine that rock. So there's a reason why guys keep getting chance after chance after chance. I wish the GM would go back. If he could take back the first pick on Alex Smith and pick someone else, he would. But at a certain point, you got to look at what you got. You got to shine that rock because he's not that guy. But maybe not all the GMs around the league know he's not that guy.
But
you gotta shine that rock because at a certain point, we're not getting the second back for Rosen in any scenario. No chance. But if we can get anything back, that's really the name of the game. Because if we're forging a future with a guy who thinks he can be the starter against Tua, and if Tua is the blue chip of blue chip prospects that we believe he is, he's gonna go to camp and he's gonna do what he's gonna do, and Rosen's gonna do what he's gonna do, and we all know what the pecking order is.
Yeah, but Havoc, in the mystery you talking about there, even with Alex Smith could try to be shined up all he want to. The fact was he had 3 head coaches changed at Frisco during his time while he was there. Different offenses, different call for packages, the whole 9 yards. That's why I said you got to take the totality of everything that is there when it's called. When Alex Smith came out, the quarterbacks that came out during the same time, during his year when he came out, they were nowhere near what he was doing. That's the reason why he went as high as he did. So only thing I'm saying is this. I believe that Brian Flores and Chris Greer will give a fair shot and an opportunity because they do want the best one to play. And I'm still saying right now, you hear me calling it just like TD called it last year with Tunsil, saying don't be surprised if he get traded. I'm saying it right now. We got 4 quarterbacks on our roster right now. We're not going to keep 4 quarterbacks. And all I'm saying is all one has to do is to show that they are the alpha male and take the offense by the horns and win it. If that's Fitzpatrick, fine, so be it. Rosen will be gone probably before the season is over with. If Rosen is the one that does it,
I like Anthony's comment.
And then if Ruddock comes in, and let's say that he does well, they will maintain him based on what the salary is, and Fitz still will probably be gone because you're not going to pay 4 quarterbacks to sit there on this roster. But
somebody's gone. Somebody's gone. No question.
Yeah. 100%. There's one of those 4 people are not going to be here. And if you're looking, it's here's the real battle I see, because not Tua. Rosen's going to get his snaps in training camp. Doesn't mean that they're looking at him to be the starter, but look, if he comes in and Fitzpatrick takes 2 steps back and Rosen takes 1 step forward and they level out, they're going to hear it out. But realistically, Rosen is going to be who he is. And, I think in regards to what he's put on tape, most people would say throw away his tape. But, what he comes in as training camp, what his approach is, can he unseat Ryan Fitzpatrick? I don't see it happening, but I feel like they're going to look that out in regards to Ruddock. It looks like they want an extended look at him, because if they can get off that Rosen stock, Ruddock is going to slide right into that slot. Now, if they can't, Rosen is going to be the buffer so they don't have to rush Tua out, because Rosen can stink up the whole place. Flores isn't really going to stand for it.
Is Ruddock better than Rosen?
I have no idea. I've never seen Ruddock play. Okay. I have no idea. We know what Rosen. We have an idea what his ceiling is what I would say, and I'd probably say Ruddock's ceiling probably isn't that much higher, sight unseen. But You don't get the issues of a former top 10 pick on your roster who thinks he may be a starter up against the blue chip prospects, who in 2021 is going to be the unquestioned starter of the Miami Dolphins.
What was your thoughts? Because I'm gonna come to you, Finsanity, with Anthony's question, because that's a great question. But I want to ask Havoc real quick. What were your thoughts about Ryan Tannehill before last year? Just solely as a Miami Dolphins, that like last year never existed. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. He was solid. Like, he was solid for his career. He was injured for most of his career, but he was solid. He was not a guy that's gonna, take you over the top. But if you have a Tennessee style offense where you just have a power running game and you just need him to be a game manager, Tannehill can fill that out for you. So I thought he was solid.
Did you think last year was the epitome of his ceiling?
100%.
So did you think that was his ceiling before last year?
100%. He can lead.
Okay.
Yeah, he can lead. He can lead a team that doesn't depend on him. Can he do that job? 100%. But anything more than that, he's getting paid like he can, but he ain't that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I would say.
I just think a guy like Tannehill, like you say, they don't lead him over the top, but I think he's good enough over the top to have won San Francisco a Super Bowl last year.
100%. 100%. I think
they would have won Super Bowl when he was behind center versus Garoppolo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because here's the difference. Let me show you something in that game that was key for San Francisco. Do you remember that throw Garoppolo threw across the middle that was overthrown by like 5 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
That was your game right there.
Yep.
And Tannehill showed, which was shocking. I was shocked. You know I'm a Tannehill guy. He showed twice in the playoffs major throws, but like difficult throws on the money in the end zone when you needed it most, like the big play. Like manage. Bam, I just hit you. Manage. Bam, and that's the difference. And that's what I've always said about him. You give him a San Francisco team, he would have won a Super Bowl. And that's the reason why I was asking you that initially, because I just wanted to make sure, because Tannehill is my gauge for people to see if you're calling balls and strikes how they are. And trust me, Havoc, I think you are. All right.
I try to call it the way I see it, but Tannehill, he's not going to save you. He's not going to, but the playoffs really show you what you can do. Can he game manage and make a throw or two? Tannehill can do that. Now, can Garoppolo game manage? Can Garoppolo game manage and give you that throw or two? He's shown us. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, and he's not going to make the play where you don't expect it, but they give it to you,
Yes.
Well, did he ask him this question then? Will Tannehill go to an AFC championship or a Super Bowl before Jackson?
Who?
Before Jackson.
You just say an AFC championship or just a Super Bowl?
Yes. I'm saying
he's been to an AFC championship already.
Yeah, well, I'm saying Tannehill has, but I'm talking about the quarterback for the Ravens. Because now you're talking about this, because I'm looking at the money.
Before who?
Before, I'm saying right now with Tannehill, you're saying that he won't take him over the top. And I'm saying now that I think Tannehill can take not only Tennessee to a championship, to a AFC championship, but a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson.
The theory of taking over the top depends on what team.
Mm-hmm.
So like I meant San Francisco, I think he would take them over the top. But that's a team that's loaded on the opposite side of the ball to suppress the other team's offense, which is gonna help because he's not gonna make the mistake, but he can give you one or two big plays in a crucial game, but he's not gonna be the guy that's giving it to you, being the reason why you win solely. Like Mahomes has that ability in a lot of cases.
I think right now we're looking at Baltimore, and we see Lamar Jackson is one of the most incredible talents we've ever seen at the quarterback position. But once again, when it comes down to the playoffs, you need those one or two throws. You need a guy that can just give you those one or two throws. Just when you need it on money, on time. I'm not asking you for anything spectacular. Just I need a fade route in the deep corner post. Can you hit that for me?
And I'm sorry, haters. That's what Tannehill delivered this year. That one or two throws. That one or two throws.
He sure enough did.
He only had 9 completions. 2 of them were touchdowns.
Listen.
That's
he
it.
Sure enough did. Listen, can I tell you something? His defense gave him a lead too, and what he do with it? Oh dang, we ain't gonna go there. Oh, we ain't gonna go there. But let me get to my question. No. Can I get to my question? Can I get to my question?
Wait, but I just want to know who you were talking about. Who defense gave him a lead?
If you don't know who you were just talking about, whose defense gave him a lead in the AFC Championship.
Oh well, yeah, AFC Championship. Okay, I get it. But whose defense gave up the lead?
Excuse me? They gave it to you. You should have never
No. If the coach calls a running play, if the coach calls running plays 3 times in a row, when you up, if the coach calls a running play 3 times in a row when you up, that ain't his fault.
It ain't.
I know one thing. When they called on Tannehill to run the ball on 3rd down, he got it. He converted all those 3rd down runs in the playoffs.
Listen, for people who are saying this is the comment that like what people don't understand is that you're saying that what's the name would have made the throw. You don't know that for sure. I've seen Tannehill under pressure just bend down and take a sack. So you don't know what he's going to do in that moment. No.
Not in the playoffs. Not in the playoffs. In the playoffs, he made the throws. You cannot sit here and say he made the plays.
His defense gave him a lead, and what did he do with it?
You talking about one out of 3 games? How did they get the lead? How did they get the lead? Who threw 2 touchdowns?
You want to say that this is the dude?
Who threw 2 touchdowns to give him the lead?
Over the top. No.
Who threw 2 touchdowns to give him the lead? And this is the same. This is the same Ryan Tannehill who beat the Chiefs. This is the same Ryan Tannehill who beat the Chiefs in the regular season down by 10. Down by 10 in the 4th quarter. This is the same Tannehill who beat the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. The same Tannehill down by 10 with 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Who threw 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to go ahead and win.
What did he do in the playoffs? We have seen Tannehill.
He beat.
What did he do against Cincinnati?
Listen,
Kenyon Drake balling out.
Let me tell you what he did in the playoffs. He beat Lamar Jackson.
He beat Lamar Jackson. The man has never done it.
He beat Lamar Jackson.
But he hasn't.
You know what? I'm about to drop the mic on Finsanity. He got a better playoff record. He got a better playoff record.
The only time that we talk about Tannehill in a great light was 2016 when we had a fairly decent defense with Vance, and when J.J. was balling out. We have never, ever, as a fan base said Tannehill carried us. Ever.
Okay, how do we gauge quarterback's greatness? What do we talk about? What they do in the postseason? Tell me why Tannehill got a better postseason record than Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson combined.
Listen. I don't.
Let me make sure I can hear this.
Because what's the name was having like 200-yard games. That's why.
Why?
Showed up.
Why? Because they were worried about the pass. But as soon as his run game didn't show up, where was Tannehill? You asked him to give you one game with a lead. And what do? What's it
that San Francisco thing? We could talk about Garoppolo not making the throw, but let's talk about them like stopping, like not letting Mostert get the ball in the 4th. Let's talk about that first. Let's talk about Kyle Shanahan not learning from 28-3.
Hold on. What's Lamar Jackson excuse? What's Lamar Jackson excuse? What's Deshaun Watson excuse?
Huh?
What's Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson's excuse then?
Their excuse?
Please enlighten us.
Man, listen, I saw Deshaun Watson come back against the Bills. Great playoff performance. Amazing playoff performance.
What was the conclusion?
Huh?
Listen.
But listen, Deshaun Watson is the Texans offense. Tannehill was not the Tennessee Titans offense.
What is Lamar Jackson? What is Lamar Jackson's excuse?
Lamar Jackson is
if you want to shift it over, who is the offense? What's Lamar Jackson
has been? We know the narrative of Lamar right now. What has been written?
We know now.
But let's be honest. Everyone, when they played the Patriots, they ran on them. When they played the Ravens, they ran on them. When they went against the Chiefs and could not run with a lead, Tannehill, make those throws for it that you so happen can make once in a blue moon.
Phins, do you realize? Hold on. Let's get something straight. Do you realize versus the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game?
Break it down. Mm-hmm.
Tannehill played well, and it came down to the two last drives. They call run plays on.
But for you to say that he could make that play, obviously his coach didn't trust him. They took away the run game.
Because the guy, you mean to tell me because the guy.
All I'm saying is you can't say that he would make that throw that Garoppolo would make. You can't say that. You cannot say that because Tannehill has never done it.
Tannehill is more accurate than Garoppolo and almost many other quarterbacks in the league. Tannehill would have made that throw. Tannehill would have clean pocket like Garoppolo did. He would have made that throw all day. He would have made that throw, man.
No,
Tannehill would have been hoisted in Lombardi, and y'all would have
it was they were running with the wide receivers. They were giving the wide receivers running plays. Come on, they didn't put that ball in Tannehill's hand.
If Tannehill was in Garoppolo's place on that play, that would have been a touchdown, and y'all would have been like, "Oh, that was Derrick Henry, whoever."
Listen. All I'm gonna say is don't. I understand why you go to bat for Tannehill, and I'm with you.
Because he proved all y'all wrong.
No, he. By what? By doing what?
Tannehill ain't making the playoffs. Tannehill ain't getting out the first round. Tannehill ain't getting out the second round. Tannehill ain't getting out the third round. Oh, I told you. That's what everybody did.
Listen,
that's the narrative. That's what everybody did. They said the man wouldn't do something 4 times, and then the 5th time when he didn't. I told you
that's
that
not
ain't
what I'm arguing.
justification.
That is not what I'm arguing. We all know who Tannehill is. If he ain't being carried by a run game, lights out.
Somebody said, would I give Tannehill 29.5 right now to do what he offers? Absolutely not. I understand his value. I've never wavered on that. I just always, not on if it's sanity, because we just having fun. We arguing right now. Yeah. But I know his value. I'm not giving Tannehill more than 23, 24 million. And that's a premium just because it's the quarterback position. So I ain't crazy. I just know that he's good enough to win. Yeah. If you build the right team around him. And another thing, people sit here and act like Tennessee had everything.
Thanks, Mom.
People sit here and act like Tennessee had a great defense. That's not the case.
But anywho,
man.
Yeah.
How are you?
Tell your mom she had the right shirt on. She is blessed.
She just left.
Insanity. Do you remember what the question was?
Yeah, someone asked about expecting Tua to be the next Marino. Anthony Mazzano said, what's going to happen when Tua doesn't live up to the hype of being the next Marino? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
If or when?
I don't remember if he prefaced it by if or when, but I'm going to tell you
don't
if.
Do that man like that.
If no, I'm going to listen. If he doesn't live up to the Marino hype, then we're all going to be celebrating and having fun because we got a Super Bowl. I'm gonna preface it by starting there. A lot of Marino haters are going to hate me. Marino was great. He was an amazing quarterback, one of the top to ever throw it, to ever do it. He never got a Super Bowl. He got us to a lot of AFC championships. He won a bunch of those. He got us to some championship games. We went to the Super Bowl. But after what? 84 was it? 84, 85?
Yeah.
What did he really do for us other than win us a bunch of games? I want something bigger and better than what Marino did. So I hope he doesn't, follow in Marino's footsteps. Also, hopefully he doesn't take a big contract and not allow us to keep talent. I know a lot of people get on me because of my feelings towards Marino, but to me, that's just straight facts. In all his greatness, he never lifted up the Lombardi. And that's what I foresee. That's my expectation and my hype around Tua. None of us are saying, oh, we brought Tua in and we think we have a new era because Tua's just going to win his 10 plus, double-digit games or 10 plus games a year. No, we expect Tua to bring a Super Bowl. That's my expectations for Tua. People who think he's going to be the next Marino, I think there's people just living in, a pastime paradise, to, quote my boy Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to let go of Marino, because those were the best, years of their lives, the best days, of being a fan. But
yeah, we gotta let that go.
Yeah, it's time for us to allow Tua to be Tua.
Yes.
He's an amazing talent. We have a wide receiving core that we feel pretty much comfortable with. Devontae has shown improvement. We don't know what Preston's going to do. Hopefully, Albert Wilson is 100% healthy, because the fact that Albert Wilson got ran down, I think it was in the Patriots game, at that moment, I knew he wasn't healthy, because Albert Wilson does not get ran down from any angle on the field at top speed if he's healthy. So whether that be that or Isaiah Ford, we bring in some young running backs, Jordan Howard with power, Breida with speed. So, and this defense should be putting him, closer to the 50-yard line, hopefully, to put him in more, better opportune positions to score the ball. But to me, it's about him being able to throw the ball, compete against, the defenses that the Ravens possess, the Steelers have, what the Chiefs are trying to do. I don't know what they're going to do with Tyrann Mathieu next year. I'm sure he's on the roster this year. We're with San Francisco. He has to be able to but what if he's a bust? If he's a bust, that's a. I mean, I don't know too many people who would bet on that, him being a bust. I mean, you could cash in that ticket. You'll make a lot of money. But if he is a bust, then hey man, listen, we got another
think about it long term, Phins.
7 years.
Think about it long term.
Tannehill, if he's a bust.
Yeah.
Hey. TD, I was just messing with you. I was messing with you, TD.
It's okay.
Nah, but he's not. I mean, I don't predict that he will be a bust. If he's a bust, then a lot of the fan base is just really going to be disappointed, to be honest, because none of us foresee that for him. Especially with the defense that we've we're putting on this field.
True.
By let's say week 5, week 6, because they're not getting all the coaching that they would normally have right now. But by week 6, our defense should be pretty fluid and pretty dominant. But that's also during the AFC West stretch that we have, because I think we have Seattle week 4,
NFC
and then
West.
we have. I know we pull off the 49ers, Rams, and the Cardinals like all back to back, because we have all of our AFC West before our
NFC West.
We got a lot of
NFC West. I'm sorry, NFC West before the bye week, so we don't have to worry about them. Oh, we have the Chargers in there too somewhere. So I think it's more about a team. Don't put it all on Tua. Put it on the team. If the team is putting Tua in great situations and Tua's just not capitalizing, then we can But if the team around Tua is not what we need it to be or what he needs it to be, then let's not just call it a bust. Let's call it, how TD says, he wasn't put in the right situation to succeed. And TD, we all go.
Phins, you make a great point though. How many first round QBs actually are successful? See, to me, that's where I look at the totality. The NFL is the one team game, to whereas I don't look at individual players. I look at the team. And just as TD has been stressing to me since I've been watching him since last year, he's always said the QB is the one piece where he is the cherry on top. You got to build everything else around him. Get that cherry, the QB, put him in there, and let them have an opportunity to succeed. And that's the reason why everybody wants to talk about the passing game for the NFL. I totally disagree with that, because when I have seen the last few Super Bowls, and again, I've been watching football since 1969, you can never get away from a run game, period. And if you have all passing, the only team in NFL history that I have seen win a Super Bowl with not much of a running game, but they did have a Hall of Famer back there running the rock, was the Rams. They were straight passing, and that was the only team that won held up a Lombardi doing it. But most every team, you got to have a running game to complement your passing game. And that's the reason why I will never call Tua a bust. I don't even call Tannehill a bust. Because Tannehill had what? 3 coaches within his span before he was let go.
The running game to complement the passing game.
Yes.
You gotta balance.
You know, if I'm really looking at it, you know, we need to isolate Marino's legacy. That was a much different time.
Yes.
And you know, I think it's important to not look at Marino's legacy with revisionist goggles. That was a team that did not have a capable 1,000-yard running back throughout the duration of his career. That was
Tony Nathan was the running back.
Bernie Parmalee, Terry Kirby, you know, the list goes on.
Yes.
You know, the defense was good, but never great. Had a few great players, but could never really put the whole thing together. In regards to Tua, you know, it really comes down to Greer and Flores. And, you know, the only pressure to start Tua would be from the top for Flores, and him and Greer are locked up hip to hip. They were both regional scouts at New England at the same time. And the Minkah Fitzpatrick era, or the Minkah Fitzpatrick issue, is really what solidified their foundation, because Minkah came in as a first-round pick and said, I got an issue with the way you're running things. So I'm going to take this to the top, and I'm going to have the top man handle you. And then the top man, who was Chris Greer, went to Flores and said, hey, I got a first-round pick putting shade on your name, trying to run you out of town. And they shipped him out of town. So the Greer and Flores thing, and the Greer and Flores combination, that's really where our source of power. They are going to they are on the same page.
Yes, sir.
The problem with most organizations, why they can't get together, is because at some point management and the coaches are not on the same page. Management gives them certain players, certain schemes the coaching doesn't want. Right now, we're in a situation where the management is giving the coaching, the players, exactly what they want. They're on the same page. So if they stay to their blueprint, if they stay true to their friendship, you know, their cohesion, and they run that game plan and they don't settle for less, if they stay on the path, we're going to be where we need to be. And it's not going to be all on Tua.
No.
It's going to come down to, can Flores coach these guys up, which he has exhibited he can. He took the least talented team last season to 5 wins, when the Cincinnati Bengals, who did not have the least talented team in the league, had 2 wins. So I'm very confident in Flores. I'm very confident in Greer. I think the 2021 draft, when we take some of our draft assets, we pile them up and we move up, and we get our core, our you know, the fireworks. We get the hard hitters. That's when our resurgence will be solidified. But for now, for 2020, it's just about building that progress. Put the plastic wrap on Tua. 2021 is when the fireworks are going to happen.
I'm curious though, Havoc, and because I want to. Okay, it looks like we're about to transition to another conversation, and y'all know I stir the pot, but this is a serious one. I don't want y'all to think I'm trolling with this one, and I'm being real. Okay, I want y'all to really decipher what I'm saying, because it's going to be loaded. Okay, and it goes hand in hand with Cloud Life's question right there, but it's a little deeper, because his question got me over here sitting back thinking. First off, let's start with his question. He said, will Flores be pressured to start Tua because of all the hype surrounding him? Now, don't answer it yet. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what this question got me thinking about, and then I want all 3 of y'all opinions, and we'll go around the clock coming back to me and my thoughts. So we'll start at the bottom, go around, Havoc, Vinsanity, then Donald, then myself. So here's what that question got me thinking about. I didn't answer the question in my head. I started to think to myself, man, why does everybody think that Flores, I'm just giving you my thoughts, okay? Why does everybody think that Flores is automatically going to go with what other people believe is the right way? He's always shown us that he's gonna go with what he believes is the right way. For some reason, I feel like some people are diluting his statements of I'm going to go with the best player who gives us the best chance to win. Because to me, Flores is a winner. He's not going to accept losing at the expense of developing a guy when he's going to be developed, if he's winning for us anyway, better than the guy who's not. This ain't got nothing to do with the starting, but I want y'all to follow me here. If Tua I just think about what is going on in Flores' head. And I feel like, and I could be wrong, but y'all, I want y'all to draw your own conclusion. Flores wants to win no matter what. Yes, Flores looks at the long-term future, but the only thing that matters is next week and what's in front of us now. What do I need to do to get this team up and winning now? And then I start to think about the man's on a 5-year contract and it's all guaranteed. Then I start to think about the question that was posed before, what if Tua is a bust? I personally don't think he will be. Somebody's going to come back later and say, TD said he's going to be a bust. Whatever. Start listening. But what if he's thinking, so I've already had a year showing that I could turn young guys around and be successful regardless, even though that isn't a barometer of success to me. But then in the second year, I'm supposed to have a team that is much more talented, but I don't have the guy who gives us the best chance to win in a quarterback, and people think that we're just supposed to sit him and groom him. And then in the third year, what if, oh my gosh, he still has some growing pains. He's still going to be great, but he's making a lot of mistakes and still needs to develop. Man, I'm 3 years in on my 5-year contract, and now we're going into these are all possibilities. See, people automatically think that Tua sitting a year and he's going to ball out in 2021. We don't know what he's going to do in the NFL yet. We have no clue. We are hopeful. Some people are more optimistic than me, of course, because they know my stance on him before the draft. But when you put all that together, this is why I don't want him to start, but it won't leave my head that just because we all feel like it's best for him to sit, what's going on in Flores' head, because that's the only thing that matters. Forget what's going on in TD's head, because TD is starting to try to think about what is going on in Flores' head. And is Flores thinking in his head, even if we lose, I don't care if we win one game, I'm going to rest Tua. No one player is that big to care about resting just to win one game. No one player to Flores makes that big of a difference, especially having been around Tom Brady so long, understanding that it's a team game and not a one-player game. No one player's like that. So it's hard for me to feel like Flores can literally sit in his office and say, I think Tua can give me 10 wins this season, and Ryan Fitzpatrick can give me 5. But I'm going to rest Tua and take them 5 instead of get the 10, which he's going to be learning anyway, even if it comes with a lot of, negatives. But I think he can give me 10. Like, it's not leaving my head, the common sense to me around that, if that makes sense. So, y'all, I want to hear y'all thoughts on that, to elaborate on that. What y'all thoughts about my thoughts about what Flores' thoughts, my thoughts about, thoughts about my thoughts about Flores in his head. Like,
yeah.
Where does that compute for y'all?
That if dissect that.
Yeah, if he believes Tua can give 10 and there's gonna be growing pains, but the kid gonna give me 10 and get me to the playoffs, and now I got a young kid getting playoff experience year one.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, so talk to me, y'all. I'm taking myself out of it, y'all. Don't kill me for that. I'm just saying this is what I'm diving into Flores' head. I don't know what he's thinking, but that's what I feel. Go ahead, bro.
I think to answer the question with another question.
I don't know what he's thinking, but that's what I feel.
Yeah, sure. To answer that question, I will say, the Dallas Cowboys are perhaps the most widely covered team, and Dak Prescott's situation is probably the most widely covered situation. And there's a reason why. The national media, the local media, and online media will propagate a narrative that they will develop around Tua and around the Miami Dolphins organization. And the narrative will state there is trouble brewing in Miami because Tua is not starting. They've already lined up the narrative, but we can't take the bait. We know that in order for us to really maximize Tua's career, especially although he is going to be healthy, he will be playing in the preseason, and he's probably going to present himself very well. But the long-term aspect of this is him sitting for the first year is in everybody's best interest. It is in our best interest as fans. It is in Tua's best interest. It's in the best interest of Greer and Flores. It is in everybody's best interest for him to set the 2020 season. To answer your question, when you said, if Fitzpatrick gives us 5 wins and Tua gives us 10, do we start Tua? Is the difference between Fitzpatrick and Tua 5 wins? Good question. Is Tua, is the difference between Fitzpatrick and Tua 5 wins? Because Fitzpatrick would have to be throwing 4 interceptions a game, and Tua would have to be Mahomes times 10 in order for that to be true. Realistically, Tua in his rookie year, he'll probably give you even up with what Fitzpatrick can do in a great year. Fitzpatrick is not consistent. That is his Achilles heel. He will give you 4 great games, and then he will tank you. But idealistically, he can hold the fort long enough to get enough trust from the coach that they think he'll be the best option. But at some point, go for it.
Back up. I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. We got to back up. We can't let something slide. I can't let something slide.
You already.
Hold on. I can't let something slide. Hold on.
Go.
Hold on.
Go and go.
Hold on.
Stop the big pistol.
I don't even know how to word what I want to say right now because you just said that Fitzpatrick would have to throw 4 picks a game, and Tua would have to play better than Patrick Mahomes for it to be that big of a gap.
Yeah.
Like, how do you view Tua Tagovailoa? Like, are you saying, like, bro, is he not better than you think? Hold on. So, how many games do you think Tua Tagovailoa can win over Ryan Fitzpatrick right now? Is he the same or something? Yeah, realistically.
Realistically, I think it's about even. I think if you look at the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history that started their first year, you're talking about your Peyton Mannings, right? He went 1 for 1, touchdown to interceptions. It's just the learning curve. And he is the quarterback of quarterbacks if you look at his career.
He didn't start off that way.
Exactly. So for me, I don't need to see Tua go through that because his long-term projection is so much more valuable than what he can give us for 2020. 2020 is our building our core year. We are not, honestly.
You're actually opening my brain. You're actually opening my brain here. Now I'm thinking even deeper, and I think you might actually be changing my opinion about something, and that's rare.
If we're honestly, yeah. But if we're honestly looking, go for it.
My bad. You mean to tell me?
Yes.
Well, now y'all got some answering to do. All y'all got some answering to do. Hold on. So help me understand truly the fundamental benefit of a kid sitting on the bench. Let me say one more thing before you answer. If Fitz is going to give us 5 wins and Tua is going to give us 5 wins, help me understand the fundamental benefit of him sitting on the bench versus getting real life experience in the NFL going through the trial. I'm just curious.
Sure. So, I would say in my estimation, the team is going to make a late run regardless of who's at quarterback. I think particularly it all hinges on our line play. It's not even really a matter of Fitzpatrick's play versus Tua's play. It's a matter of our line play. If our line is trash, nothing matters. If the line is bad, you can't run, you can't pass, nothing matters. So my position is there's going to be a lot of licks to be taken early in the season. And to be honest, Fitzpatrick was 37, 38. He's just about out the door. So if someone's got to take the licks, I don't mind the guy who's going out the door taking the licks.
So this is about
Tua taking the licks.
This is really what this is about, is making sure he doesn't get hurt.
It's not
subject to unnecessary abuse because we're only going to win 5 games anyway. Is that what it's really about?
I think essentially what I'm talking about is there has been a long history of a detrimental effect on quarterbacks that take a lot of abuse very early on in his career. We will have no idea what kind of career David Carr could have had because his first season was so traumatic. He couldn't, last season when Sam Darnold said he was saying ghosts, David Carr was seeing the haunted mansion every single week. So, for me, if someone has to take the licks, I'm not looking for Tua to take the licks. I'm looking for Fitzpatrick to take the licks.
Everybody I've spoken to that feels like Tua shouldn't start and he needs to sit, they're telling me that even if he's healthy and even if the O-line is playing well, no, sit him. I'm trying to understand this fundamental.
So I'm not on board with that at all.
You're saying that if the O-line is playing well and if he's healthy, play him.
No. I'm saying if the O-line is doing well, let Fitzpatrick ride it out. Because
when I ask you that question again, what is the fundamental benefit of sitting him? Because if the O-line is playing well, it debunks your first reason why. So what else is there?
I'm saying essentially, even if Tua is the hottest thing since sliced bread in his rookie season, in terms of performance on the field, there is going to be a ceiling on that. I'm not saying a ceiling on his potential, a ceiling on his career, but there is a ceiling on his production in his rookie season that is to be expected. And
so
I think
don't care about the 5 games. If Fitz is going to win us 5, if Fitz is going to win us 5 and Tua is going to win us 5, you're telling me that real life NFL games aren't going to give him more experience and more.
I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about.
That's not going to be beneficial to him to actually have real.
I know you know where I'm going.
I'm worried with the 2021 season to the 2031 season. I'm worried about the 10-year plan. 2020, in terms of Tua's progress, I'm willing to.
Year 1 is a part of the 10-year plan.
Yes, that is his developing year when he becomes assimilated to the NFL. He becomes assimilated to just being an adult out of Alabama. The whole thing. It is a year that I think.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
Most quarterbacks.
I had to relink my headphones.
Well, let's get to Donald then, because he has a lot to say. What do you want to say, bro?
All I'm gonna say is this.
Yeah.
2018.
Oh crap.
Josh Rosen, 19-year-old rookie, 52 sacks behind the worst O-line in the NFL. There's only one quarterback that played worse than he did. The one that was starting before him, Sam Bradford. There is one who was playing at the same level. He's still in the NFL and is a starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. And all I'm saying is, you don't think that Josh Rosen was not shell-shocked going into that situation with a first-year coach, a bad O-line, no running game, and only one wide receiver, and then getting traded after his first year to another team that's going through the same exact thing? All I'm saying, and you know what? I'm saying, he has to go in and prove himself. Getting to answer the question that TD is talking about, I would say this. I would say Chris Greer and Brian Flores are their own men, and they are men of integrity to the point that they will go down with the ship doing it their way than to capitulate and try to do it somebody else's way, whether it's the fans or whether it's anybody else. They're going to do it the way that they see fit because they have torn everything down and are trying to build it up. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, with Tua Tagovailoa, he may get a chance to get that game experience. Probably ideally, what they want to do is to sit him the first year. Let him learn. I think they're going to see a world of difference. And again, I'm going to bring up Josh Rosen. I think you're going to see the difference behind Rosen sitting behind Fitzpatrick just from last year to this year coming into camp.
Yeah, cool. Are we allowed to use the same thing with Rosen that we just said about Tua? You know, giving him the time to sit, and because it's detrimental of just throwing him out there, and it might some things aren't adding up with when people
supposed to sit though. It wasn't even got injured. No one foresaw that coming. I think that was Arizona's game plan, and then after that, you get a new. He had to play because the quarterback in front of him got hurt, and then they get a new coach.
But Kyler Murray jumped in their lap. They had to take it.
Yes, but also understand this, because everybody loves using this excuse. I done heard this one before too, where Kyler Murray playing behind the same O-line. No, Kyler Murray isn't. Kyler Murray is playing behind the starters. The starters were all hurt when Josh Rosen got in and became the starter at Arizona.
Not all, he's not playing, but that's still significant.
It was all of them. I'm telling you right now, all 5 starters for the Arizona Cardinals on their line went down, and Josh Rosen had to play behind them. All 5.
I know 2 early in the season.
No, all 5 TD.
I ain't following one after that. I didn't follow.
I got it written down. I don't know. The first 2 went out the first game of the season. The next 2 went out game 3 and game 5, and the last one went out in game 10. He lost the whole starting line, and he had to play behind that. He only had 1 starting wide receiver. Johnson went out, no running game, and he had to go behind that mess with a first-year head coach that is more of a defensive man than an offensive man. Now, with all that being said, there's still no excuse now. I'm not trying to sit up here and make an excuse for Josh Rosen, and I'm not trying to be a Josh Rosen apologist. What I am saying is this. He's a 22-year-old, 3-year NFL quarterback who never had a chance to sit behind a veteran until last year. He now will be given a chance to go into camp to show what he has, to build up his stock. If Miami wants to keep him, fine. If Miami wants to get rid of him, fine. But the only thing I am saying is this: when it comes to this, Flores, I believe, is enough as a man of integrity enough to where he's going to put the best person in the position to succeed. He's going to get whoever that is, whether it's Fitzpatrick, Rosen, Ruddock, or even Tua. He will put them there to lead the team. He also will be evaluating, because y'all, TD, you brought up a good point, I think, on your last stream with Dwayne, when you also said about the offensive coordinator in O'Shea getting fired. Players also not only get evaluated, but the coaches get evaluated. This will be a chance to where, with a new offensive coordinator and new coaches, we will see exactly what we have. I always said that Rosen, I just couldn't gauge him based on the fact of his situation. This year, no excuses. And I'm looking at with Tua will have a chance to go in there and start, and even get a chance to go in there and play. But I don't think that is Coach Brian Flores' game plan. I think his game plan is whoever of the two between Ruddock, even Ruddock in there. Ruddock, Rosen, and Fitzpatrick. Whichever of those 3 give us the best chance to win, that's who we're going to go out there with first, because we know everything is going to have growing pains, especially with that O-line and everything. The offense takes longer to develop than the defense. I say by week 6, the offense should be clicking. If any one of those 3 quarterbacks are not getting the job done, and just before we get to our bye, because that would be the ideal time. If you're going to make a change, you make the change. But we will see when it comes to camp. I think that Coach Brian Flores will make a good a good decision based on what he sees in camp. I am so interested to see what's going to come out of this. I am interested to see, because right now, has anybody heard anything on the offensive lineman from being released from New Orleans, whether or not he's been signed yet? Yep.
Nothing yet.
All right. If Miami is trying to get him, that shows me they're trying to win now. They're not trying to wait to help develop. They're trying to win now. If they sign Logan, if they sign Logan for the defense, they trying to win right now. So let's just see what this team as well as the coaches can go ahead and do. And I'm all for it. So please, people, I know I rambled a little bit, and I know y'all think I'm a Rosen apologist.
Keep it going. Let's roll.
I'm not an apologist. I'm a realist. And again, I've been watching this team since 1969. And the only thing I want to see, God rest Don Shula's soul, is I want to see not only a good team, why not perfection? You should be aiming for perfection. If you're not aiming for perfection in whatever you do, you're not aiming high enough. And that includes anything in which you do. So let's go ahead and get the best team out there to do what they got to do. I'm trusting Brian Flores, and I'm trusting what Chris Greer doing. So let's get her done. Let's get her done and see what it is. I can't wait.
I'm with you.
Hey, Vincent, I want to hear what Finsanity got to say about.
What was the original question? Because I feel like we've gone so many, avenues. What would you like to hear me speak?
It was almost like a 50-part question, because it wasn't even a question. It was a thought on which, so let me go back to it for Finsanity, because I really want your thought, because
okay.
Listen.
Wow, I have to think of
forget what TD. So
wow.
let me break it down in a more simplistic way.
Okay.
Forget what TD believes.
Yeah, I already have.
Forget what people believe that disagree with TD about it. Let's think about Brian Flores' brain. Not what we want his brain to be, but his brain. Okay? I want to win games. He's told us and proven that that's his brain. I'm not out here to tank, no matter what. I don't care who you are, how high you were drafted. I want to win games, and whoever gives us the best chance to win, we play them.
Okay.
And if Tua Tagovailoa gives us the best chance to win, am I really supposed to sit him for a season? Which is because there's still things I don't know about this kid, because I've never seen him in the fire in the NFL. We could talk about college all we want, but we've seen a lot of Heisman winners become bums in the NFL. I've never seen this kid in the pros, and he's 100% healthy if he is, right? And our O-line is playing above, but better than I expected. They're playing well. I'm here to win games and go with whoever gives us the best chance to win. In my brain, am I supposed to sit this kid for what many perceive as an opportunity to develop, when I know and maybe I believe that the best development you can get is real experience?
Okay.
But am I supposed to sit him in knowing that I'm going to have a bigger losing record? Now, Havoc said it's still going to be 5 wins each, or they're going to be even. But if I feel like this kid can give us a chance to win and even make the playoffs, what's going on in Flores' mind? What do you believe the decision he makes? Okay. Not what you want, not what you would like him to want. What goes on based off of Brian Flores and who we know him to be?
Okay, well, first and foremost, that was a lot. I'm going to say this off the bat. I expect Tua to play this year at some point. I really do. And that's just a gut feeling. It's not a want. It's more of a gut feeling, like he is going to see the field this year. However, I do not, if I'm in Flores' shoes, I'm not putting him out there week 1, because there's one quarterback who's known for blitzing rookie quarterbacks the most. And why put him underneath that fire when you haven't even been able to gauge your offensive line? So, him coming from that, I don't think Tua is the week 1 starter. Granted, he might get put in once they feel a little bit more comfortable, but we don't know.
I think you're going away from
I'm getting there. I'm just saying. But as far as if Tua gives us the best chance to win,
and the O-line's playing well in camp and preseason,
I personally would play him. I would personally play him. I'm not saying playing him off the rip though. And I think that's what people have to understand. I'm not saying, and that's why I think if you go back to Phins any Monday, I was trying to gauge at what point Tua was going to, see the playing field, because I truly do believe he's going to be on here. But if Tua gives us the best chance to win, then yeah, get that chemistry going, get that winning attitude and that winning mentality back into your franchise. That's what can you say to your defense if they know that the better guys on the sideline and they're out there risking their lives and their livelihood every week, you're catering to this guy and no one knows if they're going to see it next year or if they're going to be here to see it the next 5 to 6 years. You can't.
Great freaking point.
And Flores is a team's guy. A lot of the guys, as it's been reported, are galvanized around Flores. He would lose that fast because what he's been preaching, best players going to play, they're going to be like, well, you lied to us.
Because I thought it was best for the team. Exactly. I don't want to lose the team.
So if Tua, if we do have a situation where it's going to be 5-5, then we can debate that. But if Tua's going to give you more success, that's better for the team going even into 2021, where people think is going to be pretty much our year where we see, the team take off, leaps and bounds. So no, you don't hide a gem because you're afraid he's going to get hurt. It's part of the game. Tua can sit all this year, never get hit. First time he gets hit in 2021, it's over. He's out. We saw Raekwon preseason. Don't know why he was on the freaking, special teams. Get hurt first play. It happens. It's a part of it, but at least the guys know that you tried to do what was in their best interest. This is their livelihood. They don't have years to play around. If Tua's going to give them a better run at a playoff run, a lot of these guys, last time they saw a playoff, they got ran off the field. And most of those guys ain't even here no more. So most of them haven't even seen a playoff or even sniffed it. So why would you do that to them? You have to play what's best. And I understand we want to hold on to Tua like a little baby because, he's our future. But you got to put that man out there. If he can play, don't get it twisted. One thing, and I've always preached about Tua, if he can play, he's going to play. So whatever y'all think about it and Tua should sit, if Tua is the best option, you put him out there. He's going to ball out for you. And guess what? Even if not that, guess what Stephen Ross is saying? Granted, this year it won't be as filled, but Tua's going to bring seats, put, bodies in these seats for me. I need money. I done put all this money into a stadium for y'all. Didn't ask the city of Miami to help me build it. Put all that in. I need some of this money back. It's bigger than just Flores and what Greer won. Y'all still got to follow the money when it comes down to it. Tua will play this year. I don't foresee him playing week 1. I see him somewhere in the middle of the season. I'm gonna give Fitz a chance to lose it, or Rosen. I'm not wishing, for him, but at the end of the day, we as a fan base, once Tua's ready, Tua's going in, whether we want it or not. Because the guys who people always want to bring up, they sat behind pretty decent quarterbacks. No one is saying Fitz is a pretty decent quarterback where you had that time where you could sit that rookie. No, Jordan Love can sit. Why? Because Aaron Rodgers is there, right? Freaking third round pick Russell Wilson couldn't sit because what? Dak was going to sit because they had Romo. Romo gets injured, so now Dak gets inserted. There's so many variables.
40-25 record.
There's so many variables to this. But if I had to say it, if Tua gives you the best chance, you do not go to your guys and say, oh, yeah, well, we want to sit Tua, all season because, next year where some of you might not be here to see it, we think it gives us, the organization, the best chance. No. Tua will see the field this year. too, and that's just their philosophy. That's just their philosophy, and they're not going to go off away from. They want to win. The stigma behind the Dolphins was that they were tanking. They have to change that narrative like that, and you don't go out and get the guy who you were allegedly tanking for to just sit him. No.
Insanity. I never thought about. See, I don't know why I didn't, but the most basic thing I wasn't even considering. That's the rest of the team. When that was the whole Rosen and Fitzpatrick situation in the first place. He had to pull Rosen or he would lose the team because the team was busting their behind and they want to win. And you're going to lose the team if you're doing things that ain't giving them the best chance. And it ain't about, because we want to groom him. Who cares about grooming him? You ain't grooming me. Yep. So you put him above us and you can't have that kind of atmosphere in the NFL. Yeah. Them players are already mad that one guy making that kind of top dollars. You heard Deion Sanders. He said it recently. Quarterbacks getting this ridiculous money. You ain't no $25 million better than me. Deion said that. That's what I don't like.
And people talk about Brady.
$25 million better than me. Yeah. So you got to keep it 100 with the team. Ain't nobody on that roster gonna be like, we could be better, but we holding on to Tua, we saving it for next year, and then we'll be better. Especially all these 2-year contracts.
But TD, with that being said, isn't it something that we probably got more questions concerning Rosen and Fitzpatrick and Ruddock than we do Tua? Tua ain't played an NFL down yet, but the driving force about all of this is the money, where he got drafted, and your investment into the player.
That's an investment. Yep. That's a huge investment. When you had Derrick Brown, when you had what's my boy at the left
Isaiah
tackle?
Simmons.
Isaiah Simmons. You had all them guys.
I think Thomas went before Tua, right?
Yes,
you're right.
Thomas went to the Giants.
He was going to fly, but he actually.
But Simmons was still available.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting if I'm looking at the team, all things point to them performing better than last season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All things point to them performing better than last season.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this team with Fitzpatrick at the helm, and 7 wins is the floor. Now, going forward, if we're talking about Tua coming in, definitely not week 1, but halfway through the season, then we might as well just admit Josh Rosen is a 3rd string backup right now, and then just call Tua the backup and starter in waiting, because Tua, no matter what we say here, Tua is the starter of the Miami Dolphins right now. Whether he plays or not, he is the starter of the Miami Dolphins.
Because that's what it's going to eventually be, no matter what. In
100%. So we might as well just call Rosen the 3rd string quarterback now.
Well, no, he's the 2nd string quarterback right now. Because when you really look at it,
really the 2nd string quarterback, though.
But let's talk about that. Havoc.
Follow the money.
Okay.
Somebody on contract for 2 more years for an average of $2 million per year, not 4. Donald, but $2 million per for 2 more years, guaranteed fully.
Yes.
Ryan Fitzpatrick can actually save you money this year because it ain't even guaranteed.
Yeah,
it's not even guaranteed.
$10 million.
So let me give you another thing that you need to consider. In the event that they do say Tua is the guy game 1, that's more incentive for them to cut Ryan Fitzpatrick and have Josh Rosen be the official backup.
Because then you got no backup.
But okay, you can call, or they keep 3 quarterbacks, Tua the starter, Rosen the backup, and Ruddock the backup behind him.
Yep.
I mean, this is all a real scenario. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to save them $5 million. No, because he had incentives that carried over, so he's only going to save them like $3 million when it's all said and done. So y'all take my word on that, okay? But you're saving money for a guy you weren't long-term in any way, and I'm going to tell y'all this now. I really do hope that they work something out with Ryan Fitzpatrick, whether he starts this year or not, but in the future, because he's a good attitude guy. He is a teacher, and he's good for a quarterback room. Maybe he needs to be hired as an assistant coach, as far as like an assistant quarterback coach, and have him develop and start his second career.
Agreed.
I think that would be a great idea because from every indication that I got and the people I talked to, he actually was more of an influence on Rosen than what's his name? Chad O'Shea.
Yes.
He was much more of an influence on Rosen and O'Shea. He wasn't a selfish starter. He actually worked with Rosen to the extent of wanting him to start over him almost. That's how much he was working with him and trying to help him. And he knew that he wasn't going to lose the job, but at the same token, I hope that they have something like, because those are the type of guys you want on the team. Yes. Fitz is a great guy. Mm-hmm. Fitz ain't no problem. He's a do it, whatever you ask me to do guy. And I like Fitz for that. And that's the real type of pro. And that's what I love about Fitz more than anything. And he can still lace him up. But do not be surprised when all the dust settles. Tua's down said, Mike, check the mic in game one. And Rosen sitting over there with his ball cap on in game one. And Ruddock over there too. I wouldn't be surprised. 55-man roster now. They hold 3 quarterbacks, and it's those 3. Now, it ain't like it's a strong possibility of that happening, but it ain't a weak one either. If you really dive into it, Tua's the key for all of this.
Yeah,
Tua's the key. Because you cannot sit here and tell me if Tua becomes the starter that Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't have to worry about getting traded or cut.
That's a good possibility. That's a very good possibility. I think, honestly, I think Fitzpatrick's place with the team is secure, whether he's starting or not. Yeah, I mean, he seems, and throughout he's a journeyman quarterback. He is very apt to roll with the punches. He knows what the game is at this point. He's been in the league for over 15 years. When you sign a 2-year contract, you're a quarterback, the team ain't. You're not in the long-term plans. When you're 37, 38 years old, you're not in the long-term plans. But he still feels he's a starting caliber quarterback, and he has shown at times that he is a starting caliber quarterback. Now, if we're at a situation where we get off to a good start, which will be very difficult with a very young offensive line, but if we get off to a good start, I think Flores isn't going to break it if it's not broken. Personally.
Yeah. I mean, that's all this conversation is about. That's why I'm enjoying this conversation with all 4 of you, because that's all it's about. It's a lot of ifs. It's a conversation.
Let the camp begin.
That's it.
People need to understand that when Havoc says if, it's a conversation. When Donald says if, it's a conversation. When Finsanity says if, it's a conversation. And Lord, when TD says if, it's just a conversation.
Listen,
that's what it's about. Because when I brought up the conversation about Tunsil being traded, I got hell. But at the same token, it happened. That's why you have the conversation. Because all possibilities are possibilities. That's what Dolphin Talk should be about. You want to know the nuances of the team, all the options a team has. Well, a lot of the trades that happen, people are like, whoa. But if you talk in depth about the team, there are going to be less whoas. They're going to be, wow, that was actually brought up. We saw why. And we talk about the possibilities why. That's why nobody's wrong. Nobody's right. We're having a beautiful conversation where right now over 200 people are hopefully enjoying. And that's what Dolphin Talk is about. And I want to remind people of that. That's why I segued into what I'm saying right now. I want to remind people this is what Dolphin Talk is about, having a conversation about what's going on, the options we have with what's going on, the options we have out of what's going on, and potential things that can happen in the future. When you know your team in and out, you should be looking 1 year, 2 year, 3 year ahead of the possibility who's traded, who's not, who stays, who goes. That's what it's all about. That's all. So please, y'all don't take me the wrong way when I'm bringing these conversations up. TD, why are you being so negative about this? I'm not being negative. I'm addressing a possibility. I wasn't being negative about Tunsil getting traded either. I was just bringing up a possibility. That's all, because I don't want y'all to be shocked and then not understand why. Because when we bring up the possibilities, at least we, everybody that's been on here, we give reasons why we feel that possibility is one. So we're not shocked. And we don't feel like, because I feel like a lot of the GMs of the past, which many of them sucked, but I think they also get a unfair rap. Oh, we traded this guy. Why would he do that? Well, if we had somebody talking about the possibilities, maybe we saw why he did. Even if it was a bad decision, because a lot of decisions that are made, you don't know until a year or two later whether it was good or bad. You don't know. So that's what Dolphin Talk is about. Let's make sure everybody who watches this channel, don't forget the essence of what Dolphins Talk is about. It's about understanding the team and the many possibilities they have to build what we all want, a Super Bowl. A Super Bowl. At the end of the day, whether we like the scenario or not, it's all conversation to run down an avenue. Does this take us to a Super Bowl? Does that take us to a Super Bowl? And we talk about it and we let history write itself on what was best and what was not. So that's what the channel is about, guys. And I felt it was important to say that because as of late, I've been getting a lot of people coming at me about things that they feel like I present as a fact when I'm only having a conversation. So I just wanted to bring that out. But I'm loving what we're doing right now today. This is amazing, man. So we're opening up all kind of cans and all kind of holes, all kind of worms coming through. Havoc, Finsanity, Donald. We're bringing some life right now. And people are enjoying it.
Yeah, I don't know where Dwayne is in the chat, but I don't know.
Right now, I'm sitting back and chilling in the corner.
Dwayne didn't want none of this buckshot.
No, he was there. I think he had a phone call and he didn't know that we could hear his phone call, so I had to get him off the screen because I ain't know if it was gonna get personal or nothing. I don't want people hearing his business. Yeah, but I've been just waiting to see if he would come back in, but I don't know. Maybe he haven't dealing with something. I have no idea, but. It's all good. But I'm loving this conversation. And what I'm loving more about it is I was supposed to be live for 2 hours and we're going on 3 hours and the wife ain't even spend some time with the wife and she ain't even tripping. I went out there. I was like, the babies can come in the room and have fun. She was like, no, just go stream. I was like, what? Okay.
Green light.
It's Christmas today.
That's the queen right there.
Hey, Miss Hillary, bow down to her, brother.
Hey,
bow
there
down.
it goes. There it goes.
Listen,
Go ahead.
Can I address something that I saw in the comment section? My boy Louisiana Tukey beat me up in fantasy a couple times. Jesus Christ, I gotta do better in fantasy this year. He said that we better pray that Tua doesn't get hurt. How about we pray that no one on the roster gets hurt?
Yep.
Because how many times have we been like in the midst of a run and then players just start dropping? It's not. We're not putting all of our eggs in one basket with Tua. We expect the team to be better. We don't expect Tua to be that astronomically great that if you were to put him on the team last year, that he's carrying us to the playoffs. No. We think as a whole, as a team, the people that we brought in, whether it be free agency, the draft, undrafted free agents, on top of getting a caliber guy like Tua, is what's going to take this franchise up. And you need as many bodies available as possible, especially if you really want to make a late run, because you don't know whose legs are going to give out. And that second string guy, that third string guy could come in just because he has fresh legs and look better than the first string guy, just because he hasn't been out there as much in the trenches and performing. Anything can happen. You want everyone to develop, get better. I mean, how many of us were talking about Nick Needham in the preseason? Think about the narrative we had about him then compared to what we had, going into that Colts game, after that Colts game, after that New England game. We all felt some type of way about that call that the refs did against the Jets game. I was there. I was irate. Still got to apologize to that Jets fan. I got to keep mentally reminding myself of that. But with the coaching staff that we have and the development that they do with these guys, you want everyone to be healthy. Why? Because that breeds even more competition. Because if you're healthy and I'm healthy, I'm still coming for your job week after week, and I'm going to try to earn it. You may have it, but I'm going to try to earn it. I'm not going to let an injury be the reason why. What y'all seen Love and Basketball? Remember when she said, don't let a freshman take your spot? But the only reason why the freshman took her spot was because she got injured. It wasn't that Monica Wright McCall was better.
Yes.
Monica Wright before she became Monica Wright McCall.
Wait, who you talking about? Sanaa?
Yeah, that was her name on the movie. Monica Wright.
My second wife.
Now, TD, you know Hillary, my girl. Don't start that.
I tell the wife that too. I tell her too, because she know ain't nobody gonna come between.
So you want everyone to be healthy. You want, because that helps the morale of the team too. People being healthy, knowing that your guys are still there with you, egging you on, competing against you. You know, hoping for the best, while even hoping for their own success. So let's pray that we, as a fan base, don't have to see the Bleacher Report pop-ups and the Omar Kelly condescension of players getting hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I got one for you real quick. We're gonna show some love. Shout out to hold on, let me put this up. Jesus. Shout out to Leonard Solomon with the $30 donation on PayPal. Ooh. Said, great show. Go Dolphins, go Dolphins, go Dolphins, go Dolphins. Finsanity 5 MVP. Woo!
No. Listen,
yes.
I am not the MVP. Yes, I love what everyone brings here. I especially appreciate Havoc being on today and hearing his opinion. It's really great conversation that we're having. I just try to sit back, enjoy the show from here, but sometimes TD calls on me when I'm not ready. He'd be like, self-insanity, and I'll be like, where's my pen? You guys see me like with something, but shout out to Jersey. How about that? Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to everyone in North Jersey still, fighting and all that. And
sure.
Make sure you guys come to the MetLife takeover this year. I'd like to see more of you guys out there.
Can I ask a quick question? With everything that you all have just said, what do you think is the weakest position as far as depth goes?
Xavier Howard
on the team right now. Whatever position, because right now I think offensive line wise we have depth.
We do.
Which position at all?
Probably safety position, both safety positions.
Okay.
Both safety positions.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Tight end, right on seat is right.
Yeah, tight end
as well.
Gesicki's not bad though. Gesicki's not bad.
Yeah, he's not, but depth. We talk about.
Yeah,
Smythe is depth.
Yeah, Smythe is Smythe.
Wide receiver, I'm not even going to add, but I would. It's like we don't know what to expect from that core. They're good enough, but
sure.
It's like the way our receiving core is set up, it's almost like you'll be justified to ignore them right now.
You
don't know so much, and there's so many questions that since there's so many questions, some of them are going to be positive, some may be negative. So let's see what happens. That's one that you can't even deal with.
I love the way Isaiah Ford played against New England, at the end of the season. Albert came along, even though he had his drops and all that, but he did make some key plays on, the second half drives that we had. You still got Preston. You don't know Preston showed a lot. Preston had some touchdowns. The people didn't realize that Preston was touching TDs before Devontae was. We're not going to go there.
Yes.
But and then you have a 1,000-yard receiver and Devontae, right? You still got Grant. You got you bring in Perry. So you got big guys. You got small speedsters. When are we going to get a big speed?
Well, Merritt is a nice size. He's 6 foot. And he can run a 40 and 4.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Merritt. That's my fault. I forgot all about Merritt. There we go.
Yeah, we got Merritt. We got Cole coming up.
Yes.
Cole probably projects more as a special teamer, but we got some stallions coming up. And just to put a little bit of a button on the whole Tua thing. If he sits the whole year, that means we're having a great season.
Yeah,
the whole line gelled up. That means our defensive rotation with Strobridge, with Weaver, with all them, it's coming together. With Lawson, with Ogba, with Raekwon, it all came together. It means Byron Jones and X-Man. Hopefully he's Wolverine this year. Not Jubilee, but X-Man. He's locking it down. Needham's locking it down. Our safety play, they came through.
You didn't call him Jubilee.
Our safety play came through. So, if Tua has if the team is in a great position, the Tua argument is irrelevant. We won't have to worry about him coming up because we're going to be in contention for something.
Yeah.
That's my only point.
Let me say,
ladies and
go ahead.
gents, I gotta run. I have to go and do some honeydews myself. And my wife, she's been so patient, and she had to leave the room because she was like, I'm in class. And I'm like, oh no. So let me go do what I gotta do. I enjoyed this. Thank you for just having mercy on me and letting me come in. This was fantastic.
Absolutely, man. And thanks, Donald. We're gonna let you go honor your curfew, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let me get my kitchen pass back. God bless.
All right, man. We'll see you soon.
All right.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Fake Spike with the donation. Said Leonard Solomon Elias's alias, excuse me, is Fake Spike 94. Lord,
listen.
Can I be honest about?
Thanks for the donation, Fake Spike. Thank you, in Jersey. Thank you for the donation, Fake Spike. It means a lot.
Let me be honest with some people, okay? Now I know y'all don't. There are certain things y'all don't believe T about, and Tua is one of them. But I'm gonna try to be as sincere and honest as I possibly can. Okay, I want to give some facts to y'all. If you don't believe me, you don't believe me. But I'm telling y'all the 1,000% truth. Okay, TD didn't want to draft Tua Tagovailoa at number 5 because I thought that there was so much other guys that we could have utilized and still got a quarterback at some point or worked out the ones we had. Since we drafted Tua at number 5, I have to be honest with you, there is a part of me shockingly, and I'm telling y'all shockingly, that is kind of excited because I know his skill level. Something that does bother me, I do get scared about the future. And it's unfair to Tua from my perspective that I do this because I think that I do realize that I think this kid can be so good if the right things are around him that we're going to have to pay him a guap of money. But I also recognize, in my opinion, where that will lead our franchise, which is early success and later on being good, but not good enough to win the ultimate prize. That's something that bothers me. Internally, but the reason why I can't, this is what I really want to talk about. The reason why I can't get the whole Tua possibly starting out of my system is because y'all know that I'm a homer. Y'all know that I'm a huge fan, and y'all know that I want to win a Super Bowl every year. I don't care if we got the worst roster ever. I want to freaking win. Like, I want to do it so bad that I can cry right now. I'm not, but I feel a little emotion saying that. And if he gives us the best chance, nothing will make me happier screaming to his name saying, let's go, he's the best ever. Like, literally, like, and I already know what I'm going to deal with. You didn't even want to draft him. I don't care. We did. I want to be able to do that. Like, deep down inside, I want to be able to do that. And that's why I'm like, man, I know how fragile people have to understand. There's 32 teams in this league. I know how hard it is to win the one prize that's available out of 32 teams. And I know that we can fall in love with one guy and he can set us back for the next 10 years, not just because of him, but the decision we made to get him and rest him and not play him right away. And then he still didn't turn out to be the guy. And then 5 years later, we're questioning and we're still figuring out the guy. It's just so much in it, and it boggles in my head. So I promise you all, I want this kid to succeed. I do. And I have my nervous moments and reasons for concern like anybody else, but maybe for a different reason, not the same as me. But I promise y'all, I want to yell this kid's name and be able to talk trash and say my quarterback's better than yours. We got the GOAT, even if he ain't earned that yet. I want to be arrogant and unrealistic about him. That's beauty to me. And that's why I just can't leave my head of like, whether you believe it or not, I'm actually excited to see him play because I think that we built the team around him earlier than what everybody else thinks, saying, oh, well, the team ain't really going to be ready to 2021. I think we built something great around him now. And I want to see that Ferrari rev up and blast past the Hondas. You know, blast past everybody. because what I felt about it pre-draft doesn't even matter now. It doesn't matter. So my truth is, I am team Tua Tagovailoa. But on this channel, I just have to remind y'all, I'm always going to play devil's advocate because devil's advocate is a possibility. And if you've been a Miami Dolphin fan for the last 20 years, all you saw was devil's advocate to anything positive. All you saw was devil's advocate become true to anything that we could say positive. Anything. So I got to throw it out there because I don't want to run down those same roads. And right now, my only goal is to make sure that we put the kid in a situation to where he can succeed. And I have to be honest with y'all, even though I would like for him to rest because I am a little nervous about him, there's a part of me that also would like for him to start because I kind of believe some of y'all when y'all say he's that guy. And if he is, I think that, like, people say what rookie quarterback really makes the playoffs and do something special. But what if he's the one? And we can rave about that. What if 6 years from now we have an argument, man, his rookie year he went to the second round. He went to the divisional round. His rookie year he drove us to the playoffs. What are you talking about? His rookie year he took us to a Super Bowl. His rookie year he brought back the embodiment of what Don Shula did for us. So please excuse me if I don't want to rule those scenarios and possibilities out. Because in the NFL, greatness can happen. If I ask any Dolphin fan, and if we want to be 100, the Miami Miracle, what was it, 8 seconds left? 70 yards to go? Who thought we had a chance? I didn't.
Of course you didn't.
Man. I remember watching that live.
I was positive about it, though. You know what? That's a good point that I'm bringing to myself. If you go back and look at the stream on Miami Miracle, I didn't think we could do it in 8 seconds. But what was I saying? Do y'all remember what I was saying? All right, Tannehill, 8 seconds. Tannehill for the sling that rock. I watched the video here and there because people send it to me all the time. And on that video, the main thing that stands out to me is me saying, all right, we got 8 seconds. And y'all keep y'all head up. It's all right. We can do this. We can do this. Regardless of if I believed it, I maintain positivity. And then when we did it, people in the comment section, touchdown, 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 TD, TD. And what did I say? No, y'all trolling. And then I went crazy because I saw it because there was a delay. But that's who I am, y'all. I want to wish the best on our team, even regardless of what. If I believe that we're going to go 7-9 or 8-8, I want to believe that we can go 10-10 because greatness can happen. Greatness can happen. Tua can be better than Marino. We don't want to say that because we know Marino's career is done and we know what he put in. But why can't I believe that Tua now can be greater than Marino regardless of my concerns before the draft? That's just the type of person I am. So all those, you didn't even want to draft him. Why you all up on him now? That's who I am. Me being negative on top of negative doesn't make the situation better. I'm a positive person. So whether y'all want to believe it or not, let's go Tua Tagovailoa. He's our franchise quarterback right now. And he's going to be the best quarterback in the league because I need him to be. So I just wanted to say that to y'all. Be clear. I don't mind y'all still criticizing me about it because it makes people feel good to feel like they were right. I didn't think we would draft them. Y'all were right. Y'all were right.
I mean, they don't get on me, so I don't get why they get on you.
But
because I went on record of saying if both of them were available, I hope we get Simmons and because I can own up to mine and they both were available and we went and got Tua. I mean, granted, everybody saw the ensemble and realized that I would like Tua, but I wouldn't have been upset with either one, whether we got Simmons or Tua, you know. But
the one thing I learned from a wise person is changing what you believe makes you a strong person. Holding on to what you believe after it's been proven wrong makes you a weak person. I don't think we're going to draft Tua. They drafted him.
Yeah,
Me sitting here bashing him, we should have never drafted him. Why were we blah, 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 blah? That would make me weak. If you're not willing to evolve and become a better person based off of facts that were presented when you were wrong, you should check yourself. You should be able to change your stance based off of new information. But the sad thing is, TD changed his stance. And some people don't like that either. You got to get over it. You got to get over it. I'm Tua Tagovailoa. That's my boy. That's my quarterback.
That's a good point.
That's my quarterback.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. And that's how it's going to be. G Firm with the donation said, keep in mind, we are still rebuilding with 2 first-round picks in the bank for next year. Trust the process. Man, I ain't gonna lie. See, we forget about that, G Firm. That makes me, when you say that, it reminds me that we kind of rich right now.
We're looking good.
We've done, and we still got draft assets.
We're looking good. Yeah. It seems like, we're in a position where, we've gotten past the first stage of the rebuild, which is you wipe the deck. You get all the assets you can. And we started with a very strong draft. We got a lot of versatile pieces that are going to fit into what we're trying to do. We got guys that are going to understand the way we want to do things from the ground up. And we're about to slide into phase 2 of the rebuild, which is you're showing a little something on the field, but you still got a few steps to go. And we're very fortunate because, there are some cities, they can't quite get out of phase 1 of the rebuild. Detroit can't get out of phase 1. Cleveland can't get out of phase 1. We're about to slide right into phase 2. So when I'm thinking about
edging out 3,
I'm telling you. So, when we're talking about, is Tua going to hit the field this year? Is he not? It's really thinking, when I think he's not going to hit the field, I'm thinking we're going to have a great season. Yeah. And Fitz is going to do what he does as long as he can do it. And when he can't do it any longer, he's going to give Rosen a shot. And if Rosen can't do it, then we got to do what we got to do to put a winning product on the field. But
we got to also make sure we pay attention to why teams never can get out of phase 1 and make sure that we're not going down that same path.
It's a good point.
That's important.
That's a good point. I think, one part of that with a lot of franchises is overpaying role players. It sinks good franchises very quickly, and investing the big money into the wrong guy, that will sink a whole rebuild so fast. So for us, we're building from the bottom. We got a bunch of guys in our team, 4-year contracts, 5th year's options, 3-year contracts, real young. So we're going to be able to maximize Tua's, it's that 5-year period in a quarterback's first contract where you can go a little more all out because you don't have to put the big money in the quarterback yet. We're in that phase right now. So looking forward in 2021 when we accumulate our picks and we make a move for that guy, that rock, that's the no doubter of no doubters, then we're going to be something to be reckoned with. Because right now we're something to be reckoned with in 2021. It's going to be a dogfight for the whole league. Trust me.
Super Bowl time.
I just think our schedule is more favorable next year than it is this year, to be honest. So that's a variable. But listen, when you can bring, guys into a better organization, they're more likely to succeed, right? Like we see it. Like guys go to the Browns and it's crazy. But I think the Browns hopefully are now getting back on the right track because I don't want to see that franchise suffer no more. I don't want them to win a Super Bowl because that's where we belong. But for them just have some excitement around, what they got going on over there because their basketball team is atrocious. The LeBron James effect. But yeah, I like what G Firm said. We are still, rebuilding, but we're doing that because we haven't seen what the product is from what we've done now. We don't know where we're really at and how to measure that until we actually get on the field. But if we go out there and we start balling this, let's say we go 10-6, we're going to feel so much more confident going into next year, and even bringing the guys in next year because they're going to be in a winning atmosphere. And like I go back to the player morale and the fight and all of them, it's going to be so much higher. And then we go into a more favorable schedule next year. Oh, we can turn that 10-6 into 11-5, 12-4 like that. So we're going to see.
What do you do if Ryan Fitzpatrick leads us to a Super Bowl victory?
If Ryan Fitzpatrick do what?
Leads us to a Super Bowl victory. What do you do in 2021?
Bye.
Man. Bye. If Ryan Fitzpatrick leads you to a Super Bowl, I've never even thought of that. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't like that.
Gosh.
This is the thing because I'm gonna preface this by saying this: did the team do it, or was it solely on Ryan Fitzpatrick's back? And we know it ain't solely on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Exactly. Buy. Then buy.
Oh,
put the next best quarterback in.
Know that is not a good setup for Tua Tagovailoa because anything short of that, the critics are open for business.
But to that point, and this is why Flores and Greer being so tight is very important. And it kind of goes back to what I said earlier about the media forming their narrative and just running with it. They're going to do that regardless. But as long as Tua knows where the bread is buttered, he ain't got to worry about what the Sun Sentinel's got to say. He doesn't have to worry about what the Miami Herald's got to say. All he's got to worry about is playing to the best of his ability because realistically, Ryan Fitzpatrick, very capable quarterback. There is a trend of quarterbacks playing into their 40s. I don't know if Ryan is going to be on that wave. He'll definitely, if they win the Super Bowl, he'll definitely run it back. But, for that to happen, you got Flores. You got Flores winning Coach of the Year. You got Greer winning Executive of the Year. Yes. You got multiple Pro Bowlers on the defensive side. If that's happening.
Listen, if Fitzpatrick won a Super Bowl, he's coming into 2021 as a starting quarterback. Have you ever seen a quarterback win a Super Bowl and then they go with another quarterback and they win again? Never.
You got to retire. That's the only way that can happen. You got to retire.
And then the next person win. He would, whether we want to believe it or not, Fitz would be under contract for next year as well.
Why did y'all? So y'all just told me that the team won it, but y'all still, with y'all
cohesiveness is the perfect fit.
Y'all still want to roll. Okay, all right. Listen.
We win a Super Bowl, Ryan Fitzpatrick, run it back. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? Bye.
Boy, that would be the fairy tale of fairy tales.
Okay, you put it in the comment section right now. I gotta hear from people.
I know who Fitz is.
If Fitzpatrick was a part of us winning the Super Bowl, he played well. He's the reason that he played very well. And he was a huge part of us having a successful season. Not the reason. Would you want to say bye, Fitzpatrick? Yes or no?
No.
Would we literally say bye? Like, who would say bye, Finsanity? That means Tua gets another year of developing. It's an Aaron Rodgers situation. You have to run it back. Why wouldn't you?
I know who Fitz is.
You don't know what you got in Tua. He could be better, but not better for the chemistry. It could be different things to look at. You gotta run it back.
That's insanity.
You're not losing Tua, but if it's not broke,
TD,
why are we?
If I know my run game and my defense is what truly carried me to that Super Bowl, but Fitz happened to be that quarterback, bye.
No, but if he had a great season and he was also a contributor, he was a reason. Not saying he was the only reason, but he had a good year and he was the reason.
Listen, I still, in my heart of hearts, feel like Tua in his second year will be better than Fitz. So bye.
Hell, Mahomes wasn't the reason they won a Super Bowl, but he was a major part.
Yeah.
So
Mahomes is their franchise quarterback. Fitz is not my franchise quarterback. Bye.
it's if we're looking at a scenario where the Dolphins win a Super Bowl, we're talking about a scenario where Fitz is making passes that we've never seen Fitz make passes before in the playoffs. Salute to my man G Firm. He said he agrees. But
and lost. And went lost.
Yeah. It's an interesting scenario. It's more than likely won't happen, but if it does happen, I mean, Tua is the last thing we're thinking about if that's the scenario. If the Dolphins are making a deep playoff run, we are golden. We are buttered bread. I mean, yeah, I'm talking about
this year.
Yeah, and this year in 2020, if we make a Super Bowl run with Fitzpatrick, I mean, what could be better for Tua than that?
Yes, that means he gets debuted in 2022. He gets even another year.
Havoc. And I'm going to say this: you are a very you're a very knowledgeable young man. Okay. If we're making a deep run,
this is a fantasy scenario. So
of course, I want you to, what's the name? If we're making a deep run into the playoffs, right? I mean,
Super Bowl.
Let's say Fitz is the quarterback when we go to the Super Bowl. If someone had if you had to bet, was the Miami's run game and defense or just solely on Fitz, which one are you thinking? What is the more possible? No. Y'all going down too many rabbit holes. This is why I try to stay away from TD on any day but Monday, because y'all going down a crazy rabbit hole, which, listen, none of us think
this is a fantasy.
Possible. None of us think that is truly possible.
No. Not a single one of us.
It's only a case of if it was to happen, what will we do?
Not a single one of us.
It is.
Yeah.
Because we're going to the Super Bowl.
That horse. You know who Fitz is. Don't get enamored by one miracle season.
Insanity. If that man win us a Super Bowl, I don't care. Matter of fact, get a bulldozer and put Ryan Fitzpatrick's statue over there.
I'm having a nice little red carpet out there for the ring ceremony for him while he's in a suit and tie with his young kids on the field with him. No.
Fitz said it. I'm really gonna stir the pot. If Fitzpatrick win the Super Bowl, get a bulldozer, knock down Dan Marino's statue, and put Fitz's right there, and have him hold the Lombardi with a message say "Journeyman." Listen, hey, if that man win us a Super Bowl, oh my gosh.
Now you got Quint.
I don't even think we know how to celebrate.
Reasonably speaking, we don't project that. But if there is a scenario where Ryan Fitzpatrick is at the Super Bowl on the field, not as a spectator, it's gonna be Flores as coach of the year. It's gonna be Greer as executive of the year. And it's gonna be multiple Pro Bowlers on the D.
Hey, Quint, this wasn't me. We have it. Quint made it worse. What if Fitz got hurt and Rosen took us and won the Super Bowl?
Lord have mercy.
TD, hold up. There is a developing story that, teams can reopen facilities starting Tuesday if they are permitted under state and local regulations.
Dolphins open it too. Because Florida never closed. Florida's the only state out of all states
that's a fact.
Wow.
Florida stay open for business.
Wow.
Florida really never closed, man.
Listen, you know why they're doing that, right?
So Fitz can win the Super Bowl or Rosen?
Listen, TD, me and I have been, stating this narrative from the beginning before the schedule got released and all that. There's only one thing that the NFL wants from the Dolphins this year, and that's for Tua to be ready when we face the Bengals. That's the only thing the NFL wants from us this year. And that's why I said, Tina can attest to this. I said that Bengals game was going to get pushed back as late as it possibly could in order to make sure Tua versus Burrow was a possible option. Wow. That's crazy.
I know you better not lose.
Huh?
You better not lose.
Listen, I did.
All I gotta say is if Rosen takes us to the Super Bowl, it's like TD said with Fitz. You got to run that back because Rosen has turned into someone that not even his parents could imagine. If that happens,
but he under a 2-year deal, so you can.
No. Listen, if Rosen
cash out like Nick Foles,
but Rosen's 2 years guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, cash out like Nick Foles because
let him compete it out, and what's the name? You let him compete it out in training camp. Whoever wins starts, and then if Tua, you see him in that 3rd year going, Rosen's now a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You can get a little bit more for him, trading him.
Rosen having a Super Bowl ring and a championship MVP, and oh my gosh. That would be sick.
That would be a super fantasy. I mean, now we're getting into real fantasy scenarios. Rosen losing us to the Super Bowl. I mean,
it's possible. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. That's what Kevin Garnett said.
KG.
That's what Kevin Garnett said.
Anything's possible. Man, this is some crazy talk. Hey, not to mention, what if Jake Ruddock won us a Super Bowl?
We need to calm down. We all need a glass of ice water.
Jake Ruddock win us a Super Bowl. I'm trading Tua for 2 first-round picks. I'm trading Rosen. Well, his bus ticket, I guess, at that point, if Ruddock was the win, I mean, he wasn't worth nothing.
Yeah, I think Ruddock is going to lead us to Dairy Queen right now.
Too many rabbit holes.
Yeah, Ruddock is a little too far. Rosen's a little too far, and Fitz is a little far.
The thought of Fitz winning a Super Bowl.
I didn't. First of all, why would I not if he's on my team?
Oh, so we winning one?
You want me to be realistic, or you want me to go down your little fantasy hole?
Down my fantasy hole, because that's all that matters.
Listen, it says if they're permitted, hold up. It says clubs may have no more than 50% of staff in the facility, not to exceed 75 persons.
Oh, what happened? Not to exceed 75.
Yep, you can't have more than 75 people.
How was that when you got 90-something people on the roster? What the NFL thinking?
It's
a work in progress. They don't have it figured out yet. And then
the offense and the defense in 2 different facilities. Because people do know that we are building a new practice facility.
Okay, it says no members of the coaching staff may return to the facility. This is important to ensure equity among all 32 clubs. So no players may be in the facility other than those currently undergoing medical treatment and rehab. Is Tua still rehabbing?
Who, Tua? Somebody told me, TD, he's still rehabbing right now. I'm like, okay, if he's rehabbing, then why are they saying he 100%? His doctors. Well, his doctors just made a general statement and it's not true. Oh, so we were lied to. Because Tua Tagovailoa camp said he was 100% healthy. Oh, they're just saying that he's still rehabbing, so he can't be 100%. Oh, so we were lied to. I don't care, man. I don't even care if the kid healthy right now. All I know, he on the roster. Come out there and compete, and if you balling out, let's roll.
Can I be honest with all your rabbit holes? I understand why I was saying, but eventually the new era has to start. And you're not don't drag it out. Please don't, because you're only setting us back.
Hold on, we don't want to rush the new era, right?
Okay, well, the new
era. First of all,
there's no 1 year rule on sitting a quarterback. We got success stories for sitting 2 years. We got success stories of sitting 3 years. There's a lot of sitting success stories. So if we want to say that we don't want to prolong the future, then he's day one starter there.
It's a really interesting scenario with Tua. It's just, I'm optimistic about the level of success we're going to have this year. I'm high on us, the floor being 7 and the high end being 10, which is competing. Now 10 is we're going to have to be on point from week 1 for us to get anywhere near that. But I'm really just optimistic on us in general. And I think, I don't know if Fitz is going to be the guy all season long. And I don't think Fitz has it in him to be week 1 to week 17, the best choice. But I'm rolling with that plan until he turns into Fitztragic. And when that happens, we got to do what we got to do. And that's probably when Rosen gets his shot. He can build up his value a little bit, but ultimately, everything is a bridge to Tua.
Listen, Ryan Fitzpatrick said he making it to the Hall of Fame after this year over.
Listen, I'm trying to think about our schedule.
The best journeyman of all time. that would actually be true. He would probably go down as the best journeyman of all time if he won a Super Bowl.
He wouldn't be the only journeyman he wouldn't be the only journeyman to win a Super Bowl, though.
The best one of all time, probably.
Well, that's a lonely Hall of Fame. That's the journeyman of all time.
Late in his career, to do it this late. Now, it's been a lot of people who did it early and then they became journeymen for the rest of their career. And the reason why they were journeymen was because they lived off of that Super Bowl, that status that'll get you hired every year for 20 years. Well, but for him to win one that late, that means he earned playing all those starting jobs and then won one. That's the ultimate journey.
Shout out to Geno Smith. He's going to win for Seattle too.
Listen, man, don't rule it out, Insanity. Don't rule it out.
We're all on different courses in our path.
What we're saying is it is impossible for Ryan Fitzpatrick to win a Super Bowl with this team. That's what we're saying.
It's
the offensive line is playing top 5 in the league. And the defense is playing top 5 in the league. The run game has opened up. Are we saying that it's impossible for Ryan Fitzpatrick to have a Joe Flacco type Super Bowl year?
Joe Flacco didn't have a Super Bowl year. He had a Super Bowl playoff run. Joe Flacco's year that year wasn't great, but he had a great playoff run.
If we get into the playoffs and Fitzpatrick puts together 4 Fitzmagic games, because that's what he does. Okay. Are we saying that that's not possible?
There's a reason why it's called Fitzmagic, but I don't know how much magic he's got. Does he have that much magic? Does he have 17 games and 3 to 4 playoff games worth of magic?
Well, the GOAT journeyman will tell us.
That's a lonely Hall of Fame.
Stay tuned for the GOAT journeyman 2020.
That's a lonely Hall of Fame. The journeyman Hall of Fame.
None of this.
Who's in there? Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, Kerry Collins,
and leading the pack.
Some might put
six ballot Hall of Famers.
Journey too much. Not
Charlie Whitehurst is the real champion journeyman because he's made so much money and hasn't thrown a pass in a regular season game. He's the real GOAT journeyman.
We ain't gonna talk about how what's the name just signed? Oh my gosh. Was it the Jets or the Giants? They just signed somebody as their backup. That's been a journeyman forever.
I was watching a lot of articles today that was talking about there's like 4 teams that have a terrible backup situation. Terrible backup quarterback situation. And there's some of them, I mean, if you really want to talk about it, there's like 3 or 4 teams that don't even feel comfortable with their starting quarterback.
That's always the case. I mean, when you look at the season that Peyton Manning, he got injured and Curtis Painter was starting for them. Boy, he got exposed. And just to talk about journeyman, Nathan Peterman, the infamous from the Buffalo Bills, has a job in the NFL to this date. Crazy, 3rd string for the Raiders.
Somebody said, and Cap still don't got no job. I mean, he got a contract offer. He turned it down. I mean, let's keep it 100. He would have a job if he accepted. So,
was that a real contract offer that they gave? That they were throwing out to him?
Like the amount he wants more than $10 million. Who's going to pay that for him right now? Like if you were a GM, are you paying more than $10 million? We can put all the other stuff aside. Are you going to pay more than $10 million for being absent for how many years? Are you paying more than $10 million?
If we're giving Tannehill 30, someone can find 10 for Kaepernick.
26 or something like that. He's not getting 30.
Don't go down that road.
There's always GMs in the NFL will never give up on a first round pick for a quarterback. They will never give up, whether they are wrong or right. They'll never give up on a guy that has potential. You know, that's just what it is. They'll never give up.
I guess. But hey, we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see, man. But anyway, man, we're coming up on 3 hours and 40 minutes. I think it's time for me to go ahead and volunteer to get off. This is TD FINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all stay tuned to Ryan Fitzpatrick becoming the journeyman GOAT this year. If that happens, that means we're in a great position. Thank y'all so much, man. Havoc, it was a pleasure, man. Hit me up an email when you get a chance, bro. Insanity, thank you so much as always. You got to embrace it, Finsanity. Fitzpatrick can take us to the glory land. You got to embrace it.
TD,
you got to embrace it, okay?
TD, I don't go down rabbit holes. I just look at what's been presented to me, and you would not. I would love to see you bet money.
Insanity, Fitzpatrick hater, y'all.
I don't hate him. I just know that he played well against the top 10 teams in the draft, barring the Patriots, but we know what they were. They didn't, we knew what they were. But hey, I'm here for this. I'm in the
NFC Championship game versus the Patriots, and we knock them out with Fitzpatrick.
What? You said what?
You're a Patriot killer.
Patriots aren't going to be in the AFC Championship, but okay.
Yeah, Tennessee is, and you're going to give me in ball game that shirt. But it's all cool. We ain't going to talk about it.
Listen, you got to get the 10.
You're not going to win this one. But anyway, this is TD FINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, man. I'm glad that we had a real fun conversation. We went for 3 hours and 40 minutes. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream, man. I will see y'all this weekend. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Thank you so much, Havoc. Thank you so much, Donald. Thank you so much, Finsanity. Who else? Yeah, thank you, Dwayne. Sharif kept trying to get in, but every time I click on him, it's like a circle on the screen. He's not there. So I don't know what's going on, homie. I keep trying to get you in on every stream you come in, but for some reason it's not linking up. I put you on the screen and you're not there. So we'll figure it out eventually, bro. Definitely want to hear from you. Thank everybody who tuned in, man. This was a fun one. Just kicking back, talking Dolphin football, man. I really enjoyed it myself. I probably enjoyed it more than y'all, man. Until next time, we love y'all. Great job, guys. We did a great show. We'll see everybody soon.
Peace.
Peace.
Love y'all.
It's magic. About to get a 5-year deal.